live,
Okay.
live from the 305 Dundee's podcast,
Unbiased.
back again for another iteration. The boys apart, but together in your minds and in your hearts. Here we are again, the
Oh
trifecta, as I
boy.
like to call us.
The Holy Trinity.
Starting off with a fucking flamethrower this year, boys. We got this asshole over here with his trophy and his jerseys for some goddamn reason. You know, is lucky enough to have the greatest wide receiver season of all time.
Of all
Carry
time.
him.
Cowboys fans
Carry.
always living in the past.
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't we throw tomatoes at that jersey? I thought we
You
fucking
did.
banished that one.
You did. It
And
it
then,
came out pretty good though.
well, my wife worked hard on it, so you should thank Erica for that one.
Thank you, Erica.
Our humble producer over there felt bad for your
My
jersey.
flip-flops still have tomato acid burns on them. I want you to know that.
As they should, so you remember.
They were brand new,
Keep
sir.
that keep
They're
that head,
rainbows.
keep that head about this big rather than filling up the whole room. You know what I'm saying?
Well, someone's gonna do it. It should be the one with the trophy.
I guess. All right, enough of this bullshit. So, uh, uh, um, so here we are, guys. We're doing a little bit of a draft recap. Looking forward to the season this year. Should be a good one. A lot of excitement this year. Welcomed a new but also familiar face in Mr. Austin to the league. Everybody else is the usual suspects, as we shall say.
Welcome Austin back to the league.
Yeah, there you go. You might
It's
say
it.
that.
It's good having Austin back. I
It is
really can't wait for him
don't
to
know.
drop one of the league's best quarterbacks.
Did he do
Man,
that
won the
last time?
championship.
I don't have that good of a memory, man. But
That's how I
Yeah.
won the league. He dropped Drew Brees, who was like a number 3 quarterback in the league, like week 8. I picked him up and took him all the way to the shit.
Oh goodness.
I'm pretty
Is that
sure
the
he
year-
dropped him for Alex Smith of the Redskins.
Oh no. Was that the Michael Thomas year? The Michael Thomas record year? Him and Drew Brees? It must have been.
Might have been, but I don't remember.
It
was
was.
like
Austin
3 or
would
4
know
years
that
ago.
though.
Because he dropped him. Oh man. Well, hopefully we don't have any moves like that, or hopefully we do and they benefit me and none of you two. So
Yeah, hopefully I'm sitting on the top of the waiver wire when that happens.
yeah. Well, who was the 12th who was the 12th pick? I don't remember.
Austin.
Austin. Oh yeah, so he is the number 1. So I guess if he did do that, he could how do you say, remedy his mistake if he saw fit.
If he doesn't know it's a mistake,
Yeah,
probably a
exactly.
slim chance that he remedies it.
Hey,
Yeah.
a lot of shade coming Austin's way. Hot and heavy here early in the season.
No, just
He's not even
observations.
started yet.
Just observations.
Well, I mean,
interpret that
he
as how
left
it
the
feels.
league out of shame from that reason, so we couldn't go after him that year. So like once you're back, like hey, like the
We gotta-
baggage is still in the doorway. Like we
gotta
know
clear
what
the
you
air.
did.
We got to
I feel
clear
like
the
What
air.
you did.
Austin's being reinitiated into the league right now. This is initiation.
Dave is hustling him in the league so fast to take the heat off his back. You know that's why. You know
It's true.
it's totally the ulterior motive. In
Dave's like, hey, I got a guy.
I got a guy who will become the new Taco. No,
But I'm afraid of this taco. This taco could smash me.
Yeah, the league has this taco
he is quite
projected
large.
to finish number 1.
He's so big. Austin, shout out to how large you are.
He's a large man and he can move a lot of weight.
I like that Instagram.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not much on Instagram, but I can only imagine.
It's impressive.
I don't know about the projections from ESPN here saying he's got the best team. I don't quite know about that, but that's what we're digging into today anyway. So I guess we'll see what our thoughts are on that. Do you guys want to start off based on their rankings and just go down the order based on that, or how do you want to do this?
I think that sounds perfect. We can get right into Austin's team.
There you go. See, good segue. All right, so the number 1 ranked team as of right now in our league is Mr. Austin Wells in his Cobra Kai team here. Not to be feared, Cobra Kai. We saw him in the movie. They all end up collapsing. They're this great big scary thing. But at the end of the day, what is it? They all end up, they can't carry through. They choke in the end. Their technique is lacking. All right.
I,
Now, with that said, what do you say, Cody?
I want to know like who on his team is scary because like that first overall pick is just not
Deebo
first overall
Samuel.
pick, but his first pick
It was
is
a little soon for Mr. James Conner, if I do
it
say so
was.
myself.
What was the ADP of Connor coming into the draft? Does anybody know?
He was he was running back. I mean, he's what was he? He's like running back. I think his ADP was maybe it's definitely in the second round. It's
His
not a
ADP
first
is
round, not first round.
27. 27, which is
27.
like
Wow.
end of second round, beginning of third.
On the
Yeah,
turn. Yeah.
and so like it wasn't going to come back to him again. So like you could make the argument like if you got to have him, he's got to have him there
I
because his picks
guess
are interchangeable.
it's
You know what I mean?
true. Get your guys. And if he was paying attention last year, James Conner did score a lot of points. He won a lot of people
15,
weeks.
15 touchdowns he had.
Yeah. I mean, we sang his praises a lot last year. We couldn't
We,
believe it what he was doing early in the year.
And when you're
know?
drafted in the 12th spot, you have to, like you said, take your guys because if you don't get exactly who you
Exactly.
want, there's like 23 picks in between your picks and your next picks.
Yeah, it can go, horribly right or horribly wrong.
well, do
at
you
the
guys feel? Do you guys feel that Debo Samuel pick is worthy of that early turn also?
I do.
I think that one
I
was the
stand
right
behind
one.
that one.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. You can take him there, and I don't have any problems with that. I'm not a big Debo guy this year. I just I think he could be as great as he was last year, right? But now you have Trey Lance, who's gonna be the one running the ball in at the goal line, right? So
Yeah, he is.
all those plays inside the 10 where Debo's getting the jet sweep or he's getting this play or whatever. I mean, maybe not all of those are going to Trey Lance, right? But let's say even a half of them do. It's a huge chunk out of Debo's value, and you're not going to get that return on investment for taking him that high. That's
I
why
think
I haven't taken a lot of Debo this year.
I think his value went down.
I think the half PPR adds to him a little bit though, because the man is just so involved in that offense.
Yeah, but it's not a half
It adds to
PPR
everybody
for
else though too.
for a running back. You know what I'm saying? Like as a carry. Like if he's catching it and it's an actual reception, you're right. But I mean, it's not just touches. And like
Well,
if they
do
use
the
him in
little
the
touch pass,
it's true, but they straight up would pitch that man the ball and give it to him on counters a lot. You know what I mean?
But I think they're trying to pivot into more of a wide receiver role for him versus what he did last year. They
you think
did
so?
contractually give him some incentives to get rushing touchdowns, like 6 or 7 on the year. So they're gonna. I don't think it was like 12 carries per game or something. I can't remember exactly what the deal was, but they're gonna use him a little bit in that. But he was almost asking the team to like revert back to more of a passer role.
Well,
for his money, he should.
Yeah, he definitely voiced. I mean, he asked to be traded at one point. Remember, like just like 6 weeks ago, and then that put the pressure on the team to kind of give him a new deal, if I remember correctly. But um, it's tough to know exactly how that's going to go down because Debo said like, hey man, like you guys are really kind of using and abusing me out here, like, and you're probably taking some years off my career. He's already been injured. Like, I mean, there's been lost seasons for him already, like a couple. I think he's kind of got too banged up, to make it through. And then he had this breakthrough year where he just, kind of made it through the year healthy and like you saw what he could do. But if they're putting him in harm's way like that on every other drive, like, you're raising the odds that he's going to get a banged up knee, he's going to bruise his shoulder, like you're just raising that risk. And the reason I push back a little bit on Debo, that we should move on to another player or we'll be here all night talking about Debo, but
we're gonna be.
Yeah, I mean that's what the people are here for, are they not?
Yeah.
So the thing that I was going to say though is that Shanahan was quoted saying that it's going to be more of the same with Debo. They're going to use him a lot of the same way,
I mean, you can't trust anything that coaching staff says,
especially him. You're not wrong about that.
I just don't think you see Debo's value increase by adding Trey Lance as the quarterback for that team. If anything, if there's any change whatsoever, I think it goes down. And that's putting him at the number 13 overall pick or 12, whichever one it's going to be. And that's tough. And to combo that pilot with James Conner, I don't know, man.
I hear what you're saying, and I kind of agree with you because if you look at Austin's teams, it looks like his first at least like 5 picks were people that I'm expecting to regress from their past successes. You got Patrick Mahomes. Everybody's unsure where the weapons are going to fit into that offense now without Tyreek Hill being there. Josh Jacobs, Debo, we already hit on. James Conner, hard to not say he comes back from regresses from 15 touchdowns. So
There's going to be a regression in the mean there. He's not going to score 15 again. I mean, that was an outlier year, you know.
What do you think about Josh Jacobs and Josh McDaniels' offense? I don't feel good about that.
They don't have a great offensive line there, man. That's what everybody's been saying, you know. Unfortunately, I haven't had a lot of time to get on PFF yet. I will be digging into that like tomorrow because tomorrow's my first off day. Like in
Jesus,
like
Patrick, what are you doing?
2 weeks, man.
Like, would you focus?
Hey, I am focused. Listen to all this information I'm giving you, and this is me not even trying that hard, sir. So
yeah, I can tell you're not trying that
hard. Don't say.
I didn't even have to try that hard to draft a great team, though. You know what I'm saying? Fantasy
Josh Jacobs
picks come to you.
Josh Jacobs defense, though. Who's his backup?
Zamir White. It's gonna be Zamir White.
Is he? I don't know much about him. Is he a rookie?
He's a rookie. They're high on him. They've said positive things about him. I saw him play a little bit in the preseason. He's got some scoot to him, catches the ball well out of the backfield. If Jacobs gets hurt, they'll lean on him.
If Jacobs doesn't get hurt, it's his job to lose, right?
I don't know, dude. They've been saying that that there was some reports from the beat writers saying that Jacobs could lose some snaps this year because they're really high on Zamir White, and he could be coming in on third down sometimes. You know, it's really going to come down to how good of a pass blocker he is, most likely. You know, if he can pick up in the pass blocking schemes, he'll be on the field sometimes in third down, which is going to take value away from him. You know,
I don't like it as a second running back.
Yeah, I just there's like, I mean, if Josh, like, I've done a lot of best ball drafts this year, as you guys know. I've just been drafting left and right and whatever. I haven't taken a ton of Josh Jacobs because where you have to take him is just it's too rich for my blood. You know what I mean? If I could get him as my third running back, heck yeah, man. You know, if I got 2 solid starters, I take him as my third, great. But as my RB2, there's too much doubt there, and you have too many other targets in that offense. You know?
Yeah.
So
just looking down the list of like who is still available, and it gets pretty light at the running back position. But I mean, you got J.K. Dobbins still available. You know,
yeah, but he's got questions around him too, right? I mean, coming off the ACL, you know,
it's just like the only name that I see like past Josh Jacobs in our draft that could be that second running back answer. And so I just don't know what they're going to do.
You know, I took AJ Dillon, but like, you know, he's a backup technically, but is he really?
Exactly. He's the number 2 on the depth chart. So like, that's that running back dead zone they talk about. It's a whole lot of running backs who just probably just not going to perform, but you hope.
Well, they just got all the questions around them, you know. That's why the dead zone is like, any one of those running backs in that zone, like basically from Zeke on down. Like Zeke is the start of the dead zone this year because there's questions around Zeke. You know,
that's accurate. That's accurate.
Tony Pollard, you know, him getting older, you know what I mean? And then you have Breece Hall, which everybody's really high on Breece Hall, but technically Michael Carter's still the starter.
It's true.
That's what they've been saying. So it's like, you know,
and how do you trust any offensive like weapon out of the New York Jets?
Well, I like their coach, man. I like what they did with their offensive line, but you're right. There's been a culture of losing there for a while now, back to the Rex Ryan days, you know,
and losing bad
for a while now. Yeah, not forever. We're not talking Detroit Lions here. You know what I mean?
Like, you're right, but I mean, I'm a lot more into what they can do as a whole unit and offensively specifically than I am the fucking Jets.
Are you into Joe Flacco being the starter over Zach Wilson? Do you think that
not
helps
at all?
Or hurts?
No. I don't think Joe Flacco should be in the NFL.
I agree with that.
He's old. He's too old.
He's old.
Yeah,
he's very old.
But
he's old. He's a statue. He's basically Drew Bledsoe as a Cowboy.
He's 8 years younger than Tom Brady.
Tom Brady is not someone that you can hold up to and say, well, let's compare him to this guy.
Sorry, go ahead, sir.
You can't do that with Tom Brady. You can't do that. You gotta take the outliers out and then talk about everybody else. Because Tom Brady is different.
Yes, he's the same age as Aaron Rodgers. You're younger. He's not ancient. He's just never been good when he was young. So like, why would he be good now?
He's older in spirit than Aaron Rodgers by like 8 years.
There was some years there where Flacco was great. There was about two of them.
I think
there definitely were.
Those years remind me of when Rex Grossman made it to the Super Bowl. He looked a lot better because of his defense.
I don't feel good about that comparison. Joe Flacco was a lot better than Rex Grossman.
Oh,
Joe Flacco had a cannon.
I only bring up Grossman.
Anquan Bolton tore it up, dude.
Cannon.
Yeah, he was good. The year they won the Super Bowl, he was good that year, man. At least that year, you got to give him that.
Good, not great.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, but you know
how Eli Manning had those 2 runs. Joe Flacco had one of them.
I put him in Eli Manning.
Exactly. That's a good comparison.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And if Eli Manning was still in the league, I would fear him just about as much as I feared Joe Flacco right now.
Exactly true.
Yeah. Yep. Nobody feared Eli Manning at the end. You're right about that.
But at the end, you mean like the last 4 years of his career?
Well, even the last year, the greatest thing Eli Manning did at the end of his career was throw the ball to Saquon Barkley a bajillion times
and ruin Saquon Barkley's very short future. Yeah, I'm really glad he did that too.
He didn't get injured that year. The first year, he was great, and then he got
the miles were ticking.
Yeah, but I mean that's any running back, like
that's the point that I'm making. It's any running back.
Yeah, it's true.
They weren't contenders, and they started using up this super hyped up guy. I'm like, fucking rest him. Like, don't even use him his rookie year and move on from the quarterback.
They're like the Steelers, man. The Steelers are gonna turn and burn on Najee so quick, dude. They're gonna run that man in the ground.
And I would love having him on my fantasy team.
Hey, that's on target for this podcast, Jake. Just let it go, man.
And so is calling out when we go off the rails.
That's true. That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, we haven't even gotten down to Patrick Mahomes yet.
Was that his next pick? Do you guys have the draft order up?
Yeah. His first 5 picks go as follows: James Conner, Deebo Samuel, Josh Jacobs, Patty Mahomes, Marquise Hollywood Brown.
I don't mind Patty Mahomes in the 4th round.
And I don't like Hollywood Brown in the 5th.
You don't like it?
No, I mean I know I think he's done good there. I don't care for Connor and Jacobs, but like he's made up ground at Brown, Mahomes, and I'd say even Waller. I mean, I don't know what he looks like this year.
Devontae Smith at the 7th spot looks pretty good to me too. They're bringing AJ Brown and distracting some people. I think he's going to surprise.
It's true. I mean, if Devontae Smith had a quarterback, he would be like 3 rounds up.
Here it comes early in the pod.
I wish we had a soundboard for this.
Number one.
We should have a little ticker. Let's get a little segment, a little ticker.
All right. Well,
Jalen Hurts head ding. It's one. Like the ESPN ones, That's funny.
What happened?
Oh man, I don't know what happened. I think I hit something. Share screen.
The whiteboard got opened up.
The whiteboard got opened up. I wanted to draw some shit like John Madden for you guys. But anyway. So you go over here. And you take one ticket over there. And boom, you go to the right.
You'll notice this is the entire left side of the field. Jalen Hurts can't throw over there. You don't even need defenders.
Just draw a big line down the middle of the screen.
No defensive backs on this side of the field.
Boom. Those are the greatest commercials ever.
Hey, God rest his soul.
Yeah, good man. But or a good man for what he did for football. I don't know anything else about him in his personal life, but
he's no John Gruden, but
well, in that case, I'm on board, dude. And even if he was, hey.
I hear he's a good guy, according to John Gruden.
Yeah, just ask him. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he'll tell you.
Yeah.
Do you guys think there's any picks Austin made late that might be a good sleeper? Can somebody tell me who the hell Velus Jones is?
He's a rookie for Chicago. I don't know.
Just a homer pick? Straight homer pick?
Gotta be.
He ain't gonna do anything this year. I'm sorry to say. I highly doubt that man does anything. At best, he's the 4th target in that offense. Maybe Demarcus Robinson's there. Demarcus Robinson's going to start over that guy. You know what I mean? It's going to go Darnell Mooney, Cole Kmet, right? So Darnell Mooney, Cole Kmet, Demarcus Robinson, or the running back. and then maybe this guy, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He didn't look very good in the preseason. So I don't know what he's doing with that pick. It's a guy he knew, a rookie he knew. Maybe he's got some hype going on in Chicago. I don't know. I haven't heard anything in the fantasy community. I haven't heard anybody saying a whole lot of good things about that dude. So I feel like there was other guys that he could have taken there. I do like the Derek Carr pick as the backup quarterback. That's great. You throw him in there with Darren Waller, on a week when Patty's maybe if Patty gets hurt or he's on bye or whatever, like Derek Carr, Darren Waller, that's a good backup quarterback to have.
Or like I was talking with Jake earlier, sell a really hot and pricey Patrick Mahomes. Take that Derek Carr money with Devontae Adams and that new offensive coordinator and just play with that and try to get yourself another weapon.
Absolutely.
Because like 4 through 7 is where he sits at the top of our projected finish. That's where he did good. 1 through 3, meh. Derek Carr, good. Everything else, meh.
Yeah. I mean,
pretty well sums it up.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We should move on. I was gonna say some stuff about Marquise Brown, but it's not necessary.
I like it, especially for the first 4 weeks.
Yeah, Marquise Brown, I think is gonna be great. I wanted him so bad. Him and Kyler, I think they have such chemistry. It wasn't that long ago that they were in college. And everybody's been talking about this narrative with Devontae and Derek Carr. That was 13 years ago. These two played together like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Over the door.
So I think those two are going to get off to a pretty hot start as long as Marquise is healthy. He's been a little bit banged up, but I think he's been at practice for the last couple of weeks. So, so the next one is Mr. Well, did they move one up to Erica? Erica went all the way from 10 to 2.
So we go from the 12.
Well, we have a new projection
as of like 30 minutes ago. It looks like she must have picked somebody up before the cast to buffer her position.
I was wondering if it was going to do that because the reason why it had her so low is because she didn't have a kicker on her team. So
that happened with Allen too.
Yeah,
Allen picked up a kicker to fill out his roster, and he jumped up from 12 to 7.
Yeah,
I didn't think about that.
Do you guys want to dig into Erica's team then?
Yeah, let's do it.
She's here to listen to us in the background, so this ought to be fun.
Oh, so really lay into her is what you're saying?
Yeah, let her have it, guys.
She had the first overall pick in the whole draft, so she's got the best player from anybody's team.
Yep, it's true. I mean, JT is going to be great, I think, again this year. I don't know if we're going to see him hit the ceiling that he hit last year, but I mean, maybe he does it again. If not, he's still going to be great. He's still going to be a top 5 running back, even if he's not the RB1.
He's a better quarterback there helps him or hurts him.
I don't know.
I don't think it changes much.
No.
We'll see what Matt Ryan's got left in that arm. That's for sure. Because they are going to want to throw the ball, like I think a little bit more than they did last year, because they did become a little bit one-dimensional. I mean, that one-dimensional worked pretty freaking well when Carson Wentz wasn't throwing duck balls to the other team
until it was time to get in the playoffs.
Yeah, and then they just choked mostly because of Carson Wentz once again.
Yeah, which is why he's not there anymore.
Exactly. So, I think it's a slight improvement. I don't think it's a massive upgrade. I think what Matt Ryan does bring, though, is much better decision making. We've seen Matt Ryan for a long time. He can have games where he goes off the rails like anybody does. But for the most part, Matt Ryan's not been known for a dude who's just going to be chucking the ball over the field, throwing interceptions.
I feel like Matt Ryan is a professional.
Yes.
And Carson Wentz is a starting quarterback because he was a first overall pick a time ago.
And he had one great season that has been keeping him in the league forever afterwards.
He had one great season that was finished by a backup.
Yep.
Yeah, who won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And so how no one talks about the fact that, like, okay, well, they had a really good team then. It's still lost on me because people still talk about like Carson Wentz MVP caliber season. I'm like, yeah, and you took him out and they won the Super Bowl. So like,
they had one of the best.
Like when Tom Brady tore his ACL that year and they put in Matt Castle, it took him like a 10-3 record or something stupid.
And 11 wins. 11 wins.
It's like, do they have a real quarterback as a backup? And they
missed the playoffs.
It was the whole team. The team made him look good.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the one year that Bill Belichick didn't get in the playoffs, and they won 11 games that year, and they missed the playoffs at 11 wins.
That's wild.
That's insane.
How did that work? They were like how did they miss the playoffs with 11 wins? I don't remember how that just the way it shook out in the AFC.
That that was back when like Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez was taking the Jets to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
And so they didn't win their division and they just got edged out in the wild card because there was one less wild card team back then too.
That must have been a really top heavy year for the AFC. A lot of big dogs up top and a lot of real bad teams at the bottom.
And no Tom Brady.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. I don't recall that. Now that you're saying it, I vaguely remember that year, but I didn't remember that the Pats had missed the playoffs. That's some good history there.
Yeah.
The next picks were what? They were Travis Kelce and AJ Brown.
Yeah, at the turn. She got Travis Kelce in the 3rd round. I know it's the first pick, but still, every practice draft that I did had him going maybe the 12th spot, never later than the 15th, and she got him at the number 30th overall.
I know. I was like,
that's a great pick.
That's like if you remember me saying at the draft that I was telling Todd, I was like, I'm super surprised this one person hasn't been, this one player hasn't gone off the board yet, and that's exactly what I was talking about. And so that was pretty crazy. Yeah, every draft I've ever been in, not even just this year, the last 3 years, he's never gone outside the top 10, 15 picks, and
it's been absolutely worth it and proven.
Yeah. And the one person I think that if he hasn't lost it without Tyreek Hill, it's just gonna. Oh my God, Kelsey's gonna get so many balls.
I'm really interested to see what that offense is gonna be. Kelsey's obviously gonna. I mean, there's such a rapport there with Mahomes. Like he's gonna be great. You know what I mean? As long as I watched him in the preseason. He looked just as good as he always has. Caught like a 30-yard pass, made a defender miss. Looks like he's got all the juice that he's always had. So. I don't think he's going to lose a step this year, and you can't predict injury or nothing. I'm just wondering how the rest of the targets shake out in the offense because I honestly think, the reason I picked up MVS was because, MVS is not Tyreek Hill, but in a foot race, he's not that far behind him. To be honest with you, he's very fast.
You don't think so?
He's really not, man. Like if you compared like their straight line speed. MVS is very fast, and Rodgers used to find him on deep balls all the time.
Yeah, but he can't joystick like Tyreek Hill can. Like that's the thing about Tyreek Hill. His acceleration sets him different. Like we talk about like that Tom Brady comparison earlier. All right, there's some people you're not allowed to compare like certain things to. And while Tyreek Hill's got like mainline speed like no one else does, he's got acceleration like no one else does. Like that dude can just stop and go, and it's not fair.
Yeah, and he's very good at breaking tackles for being such having a small frame. He's like compact piece of like dynamite, man. Would be the best way to describe him on the football field. So I don't know. I'm not really big on Juju. Everybody else is thinking Juju is going to be like the new hotness out there, and he's going to resurrect his career, man.
Well, if he's ever had an opportunity, I mean, you talk about going from the last years of Big Ben to Patrick Mahomes in his prime.
Yeah. And Andy Reid, you know what I mean? And so, not that Mike Tomlin's a bad coach, but let's be honest. Andy Reid's
he's no Andy Reid.
Yeah, exactly.
There's only one Andy Reid.
That's right.
He's one of the best ever.
The big Kansas belly. That's what I like to call him. You know what I'm saying?
Do you remember the clip of him doing the punt pass? What was it? He's like a
punt, pass, and kick.
Oh yeah,
kick, where he is 4 times the size of the next closest person, and I'm not even exaggerating.
No, you're not. He's
Patrick.
He was a
kid when he was a kid. No, he was a kid doing it.
Maybe like a preteen or something.
He's just enormous even back then.
He looked like he might have been 260 pounds.
See, that makes me feel bad because that makes me feel like he's not going to live long. But you know what? He could choose to become vegan. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it wasn't because he was fat in that punt, pass, and kick competition. He was just 6'3" and filled out like a sophomore in college. And he was.
Did he
11.
play pro ball? Did he play in the NFL?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like he didn't, but he was 4 times the size of all of the people his age, so he got an early football brain in him.
Nice. Nice.
They fed that man playbooks and cheeseburgers.
Tomahawk
Andy-
steaks.
Andy Reid played offensive tackle at Glendale Community College.
Hey,
You know what they
Close
say about
enough.
Glendale Community College?
that's the isn't that the one from Community? Isn't that
Oh,
isn't it
wow.
named
Is
isn't
it
it named
Glendale?
Glendale? I'm
I
pretty
think
sure
it
it's named
is.
Glendale.
I think it might
is.
be.
Eric is confirming. That is amazing. I love him even more now.
Yeah. God, so glad he's out of Philly.
What was their mascot?
The mascot, the human being.
That's right.
Remember the flag?
Yeah, the ball.
Man, Dan Harmon is an
man.
amazing writer.
He's the greatest. He's yeah. Very
Welcome to the
funny.
Dan Harmon Appreciation Podcast.
That's right.
Shout out Dan Harmon.
Shut up.
Greendale. It was Greendale. Close enough.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Oh, you said. Wait, I thought you said he went to Glendale.
He did.
Oh, whoops.
Whatever. Hey, close. He went. Hey, guess what? Now he
Here's the
went.
deal.
close.
Andy Reid went to Greendale.
Yeah, that's right.
You heard it.
Greendale Community College. Andy
You heard it
Reid.
here first.
That's right.
Home of cheeseburgers and offensive playbooks.
Yeah. So yeah, AJ Brown. How do we feel about AJ Brown? I know how Cody feels. He feels like he's not going to be able to catch the ball because he's not going to be able to get hit with an accurate pass. Jake probably feels the same way, but I'll open it up to you too.
I like AJ Brown as a receiver. I think he's going to have options. I am concerned about the quarterback that's got to throw him the ball, and I don't love him on her team considering her number 2 is Elijah Moore. I think at receivers overall, she's going to struggle a little bit.
I don't like his red zone numbers because of Jalen Hurts running the ball.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting. They have a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball. We'll see how it comes together. You know what I mean? Because last year it just turned into the Jalen Hurts show in terms of fantasy. You know what I mean? In terms of who's
And that's
putting
what
up
we're
points.
talking about.
Well, because
Yeah,
they were down
exactly.
a lot late in games, and it was just garbage time for a lot of it. But Jalen Hurts just rolling out and eating up yards.
But also think about who he had. They didn't have a true wide receiver one. Devonta Smith is great, but he was not ready for that role. You know what I mean? He's great. I think Devonta Smith is going to be a player in the league for a while. I mean, there's a reason he was the Heisman. He moves very smoothly across the field. He runs routes super well, but he's not like a archetypical wide receiver one. He's not that big bodied guy you throw the ball up to. You know what I mean? Not to me anyway. I guess you could argue that Cooper Kupp's not that big of a guy either, but I don't think Devonta Smith's Cooper Kupp yet either. So he
also doesn't have Matt Stafford throwing the ball.
It's true. It's Jalen Hurts. But you discount the fact that people can get better, man. It'll be interesting. I really hope he proves you wrong because I'm gonna be rubbing it in all year long, dude.
He's got an unproven head coach.
That's true.
He's got, he's
the best running back on his team because they got Miles Sanders.
Yeah, Kenny Gainwell though. I think Kenny Gainwell is gonna be good this year.
Kenny Gainwell gonna be shit.
He's gonna have an Aaron Jones year, man. I'm telling you, he's gonna have a breakout year. Kenny Gainwell, baby. Straight off my bench, taking me to trophy land. But anyway, back to Erica's team. We'll get to my studs later.
Erica's first 3 picks I like. Erica's 4, 5, 6. I'm not nearly as excited about.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan, and I told her this afterwards because she asked me, she's like, how do you think I did? And I was like, not super fan of taking Brees Hall and J.K. Dobbins, to be honest.
One of them, sure, but to take on the risk of both of them is very dangerous.
Yes, that's exactly my thoughts. Exactly. I mean, exactly my thoughts.
Exactly twice.
Double tapped exactly. But the thing is there's a non-zero chance that J.K. Dobbins ain't right. You know what I mean? He is young. There's a very good chance he comes back and he's fine. He's an uber talented kid. He's not that old.
An MCL?
It was an ACL. Both him and the Gus Bus got the ACLs, and Justice Hill. They had 3 of them.
Jesus Christ, what's wrong with the turf?
I know. Fire that guy. I think we said that last year about them and San Fran, maybe. Fire the turf guy.
And definitely in Chicago, because I've seen that field and that's atrocious.
Yeah, let's keep shitting on Chicago. I love it. Fuck the Bears. Anyway, so what are we saying though? And then like we said, Brees Hall, they're athletically in the combine, like his his comp scores, his athleticism scores. They do all these like things, like they do a burst score, like there's like all this stuff that they do. Very similar to Jonathan Taylor, actually, like
Mhm.
outlier. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of like, is he going to translate the same way that Jonathan Taylor did? And also, like Jonathan Taylor's rookie year did not go well for the first 8 weeks. Like he was not on the field enough to really make that much of an impact his
Yeah.
first year, because you had Naeem Hines out there backflipping all over the field, catching passes. You know what I mean? Um,
Mhm.
so I don't think Michael Carter necessarily is going to do that. But if Michael Carter gets in the way enough, then like Brees Hall is not going to have the value that you think he could. Is what my thoughts on Brees Hall. But
It's true. And if Brees Hall doesn't pan out, if Dobbins isn't quite the same, then her number 2 running back is Tyler Algier.
who could be the starter in Atlanta? Most likely will be, actually.
Think
I think
so?
Cordell's going to play wide receiver this year. That's what the beat writer's been saying. He's been lining up at wide receiver way more often, and that once in a while he's in the backfield. But it's been
Mhm.
Tyler Algier and one of the other running backs I can't remember right now that have been taking a lot of the snaps at running back. I could be totally wrong. They could give the ball to Tyler Algier and then he's terrible, and then Cordero's right back there again. You know what I mean? Because it's the
Yeah,
NFL
but
and you got to play to win. But
all I heard out of what you just said is they have a committee of 3 running backs, and that scares the shit out of me for fantasy.
it's true. Did you ever
Yeah.
watch any of Tyler Algier's film in college? You ever seen
No, I
him?
did not.
He looked real good at BYU, man. He
So
ran
did
for like
Zach Wilson.
that's true.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
tough to listen to that argument anymore because, like, you could give equal examples of people that were great in college that were bums and pros
that's
versus
true.
those that succeeded. So it's kind of, does it correlate? Correlation is not causation, kind of vibe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. I saw some of his game film. I like the way he looked. He's definitely very athletic. You know, big running back. Um, Maybe not necessarily tall, but like stocky. Like you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Seemed like he could be durable, but also he hasn't been hit in the NFL yet. Like necessarily, probably in the preseason, but like we'll see. How he
Yeah.
holds up over the whole year.
Well, you
But
might, or you might share it with 2 other running backs, and you might not see it at all.
yeah, that's true. Um, I just watched the game. Basically, I got hyped on him a little bit because there was a game. I think it was the bowl game last year. They were playing Virginia, I think it was. He went for like 183 and was just stiff arming dudes all over the field, man. Like
Damn.
he looked really impressive in that game. So I don't know, little sleeper pick there. We'll see.
We'll
But
see.
And I
I
know
mean,
that.
I really like Hunter Renfro and Tyler Boyd where they're taken. Like I
That's what I
think
was
she's got
saying.
some really good value for receiver down there, but that huge that gash in running back is really hard to overlook.
well, we're skipping over Alan Lazard too. She took Hunter Renfro and Alan Lazard both together and sniped the crap out of me because I was
Yeah,
like,
you were
one of those
upset about
guys.
that.
I was very upset about that. I got stuck on Kadarius Tony because of that, who is like
Ugh.
cool Kadarius, but Kadarius is such a glass cannon, man. I don't think that guy can stay healthy to save his life. We'll see. He's only been in for 1 year, but he'd make a big play and then he's off the field for the next 15 minutes.
Well,
You know what I
yeah, and
mean?
like if
So
you have a quarterback in the NFC East who isn't named Dak Prescott, like you're in trouble.
this guy, such a homer. I love it. I love it
Like the
That's
so
Cowboys
much.
are in trouble.
It's
I'm
on
not.
brand for you.
I mean, I brought like
Yeah, I mean it's
supplies.
it's very clear. It's very clear how you feel about the NFC East. Notice the
To be
background.
to be clear, I don't see a Prescott jersey behind you.
Uh,
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 awkward silence. Hey, when he,
I like Dak Prescott. I like Dak Prescott. Okay.
I mean, what
yeah,
did Tony Romo? I mean, Tony Romo never won a Super Bowl, man.
thanks
Where's
for a
where's all
Wow.
reminder.
the loyalty?
Wow.
Jesus,
Hey,
come
man.
on, man.
Wow.
Hey,
This
I
is
mean,
we're not
Dak's
even
won a
into week
playoff game.
one, and you want to bring this into the show?
Hey, man. Dak's won a playoff game. So what's separating him from Tony Romo? That's all I'm asking. It's an honest question.
Like a bunch of touchdowns and yards and
Well, yeah, but he's got
audibles.
time.
Yeah, hey, I'm a Cowboys fan. I want him to have those things. I want him to have all the things that Tony Romo didn't have. Like a top 25 defense ever.
Yeah, that's true. They were never great on defense.
They were atrocious on defense.
He did have Des Bryant though.
Yeah, he made Des Bryant look good. What happened? What happened when Des Bryant wasn't in Dallas anymore?
Well, Des Bryant was over the hill, man.
That's chicken or the egg.
Yeah, exactly. Des Bryant was an athletic.
Did we get rid of him because he wasn't any good, or did he become not good after we got rid of him?
Yeah,
I think it was the former.
Yeah,
he only had 2 routes.
I think too.
It's true. And one of them was go 3 yards and turn around.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you mean he wasn't? You're saying he wasn't good, Jake?
No, I'm saying
he was really good.
Trash.
He was a monster
was
athlete. Is the thing,
and
he never learned how to run routes because he didn't have to.
It was a hook and a drag, and that was it.
Yeah.
Well, when you're a beast, I mean, he also Tony had a Terrell Owens for a while too, did he not?
When he first came in, when he first got the job, and
interesting,
man, that was a fun duo to watch.
That was the stand on the
That's my quarterback, man.
Yeah, that was no, Terrell Owens stood on the star when he was a Niner, right?
Yep.
And then
that's by George Teague.
Yeah.
I love a George Teague reference, man.
Throwback, man. Anyway, this has been the Cowboys History Hour with Cody, Patrick, and Jake, if you're all wondering. Anyway, moving on. Anything else to say about Erica's team, guys? I think it's gonna be great.
I feel like Mr. Taylor is gonna disappear on an average team.
You think the Colts are average?
No. I think Erica's team is average.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I missed what you're saying. I'm a little tired and loopy.
That's okay.
The last thing. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Touching moment there. Anyway,
the only other comment I'll make on Erica's team is that since the draft, she's picked up Justin Fields. So her quarterbacks are Trey Lance and Justin Fields, which could turn out to be great in like some weird fantasy world, but most likely is going to be very disappointing.
Yeah, and like a Justin Hurts kind of thing.
Justin Hurts. I don't know if he meant to do that.
Exactly like that. Exactly.
It could be totally like Justin Hurts, like imaginary and like not that great. But Justin Fields, man, I am very interested. Like Chicago's not going to be good. Don't get me wrong.
Terrible.
Me and Erica were actually talking about whether I should bet the over on the 6.5 wins, though. I don't know. I don't know if Chicago might be able to get past 6.5.
I don't think so.
Look at their schedule.
Their division is not that good this year, though, man. Like the Packers, I think, are going to be great on defense. They're vulnerable on offense. The Lions are getting better, but you think they're probably going to take the Lions for 2, right? I mean,
I think they take the Lions for 1.
I don't think they take the Lions for 1. I think they go 0-6 in their division and have one of the worst years Chicago's fans have ever seen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think it can't get any worse than the fucking Matt Nagy Joker show on offense last year. That was some of the most disgusting play calling that I've ever seen.
They really did Allen Robinson dirty.
And then Allen Robinson's going to show you that as a fact this year too. I think he's going to be great this year.
Really hope so.
I think. Man, Jake's team looks so good.
I know. We'll get to that. All right. We'll have.
I'm next. I'm number 3.
Yeah.
So
I think we should get right to it.
There you go. Let's go.
I think we should get right to it.
Stop talking about Justin Fields. Let's keep it moving. All right. Let's go. The dangerously McCaffreynated. Great name, by the way. That's fantastic.
Really good.
Nice work.
The number 8 pick of the draft.
Can you believe that? Because of you, Patrick.
Because of me, he can't break my heart twice, man. Give me a break.
How are you going to take Dalvin Cook? He's only going to play 12 games. We're not talking about your team. We're not going to talk about your team.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. My bad.
We'll get there.
My bad.
Yeah,
we're going off the rails.
I'm aware of what we did, what I did. Okay. I gave Jake Christian McCaffrey.
And Austin gave him Alvin Kamara.
Don't make it sound like there wasn't 7 picks before mine, of which you were included, Cody. Christian McCaffrey's gone 2 over
It's
Eckler in almost every one. So it's
and
also
that was my conundrum. That's what's so crazy about it is I'm sitting between Eckler and McCaffrey, just like it's one of those two, and it's nobody else at number 2. And so I take Eckler, and 6 spots later.
Yeah, if I was assuming before the draft at the 8th spot, I was going to be between Justin Jefferson or Cooper Kupp, whichever one was left. And the
And
fact
I remember
that
thinking Justin Jefferson was so high on me. I was thinking, all right, well, if I get stuck in that 6 to 9 area, Justin Jefferson's my guy.
Yep.
See, I didn't think there was any way in hell Justin Jefferson was going to make it out of the first round because I thought about Brant. Brant loves Justin Jefferson so much, and I was like, if he gets an opportunity to take him, I think Brant's taking him.
Is he the one that ended up taking him?
He did take him, yeah. I don't know if he took him in the first round, but he did take him in
Oh, yeah.
Dave, and then Dave took Cooper Kupp, and then that left me with McCaffrey.
Yeah,
I was assuming 6.
Yeah. If he had a chance to take him, I knew he was going to take him because he wanted him so bad last year. But anyway, back to Jake's team. I just couldn't, like, my opinion on McCaffrey is like, yeah, man, if he does it again, Jake's team is going to be very hard to beat. But like, he hasn't done it in 2 years, man. You know what I mean?
But
and I don't think that
doesn't
team's
have a
gotten
quarterback.
better.
So no, they haven't. But I think that is a benefit to him because when he was doing it, they all knew he was getting the rock every time, and he still did it. That's how good he was.
True, but that's also why he broke down.
Yeah,
so, you know,
I don't need him for 2 seasons. I need him for 1. You know what I mean?
That's true. And you know what? They did give him they did give him the time last year after painfully for me because they kept toying with him coming back. Like he's coming back. Never came, you know what I mean? He just kept sitting out because they wanted to. I think they were trying to keep him from completely like destroying his hamstring. I think it was his hamstring that was all screwed up or something. I don't remember exactly, but I just remember that was brutal.
That's nice.
So anyhow,
I love getting Kamara at the 2nd pick too.
Yeah. Well, if you scale back and look at the entire first 2 rounds, Jake's the only guy that's got 2 running backs in those first 2 picks, and I think it's probably the strongest running back team because of it. It seems pretty obvious. Now, I think I might give him a run at Javonte Williams Eckler, but
I think the yours are on par with mine, if not even slightly better. I love Eckler, and I think Javonte's the best. Like getting him in the late 2nd round, I think is great.
Oh, that's great.
Worried. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just don't think it's over at McCaffrey Kamara. I still give the edge to you, Jake, on that.
I think that's true.
Yeah. I think Javonte is going to be great. Like Javonte is a bowling ball, man, and he breaks tackles left and right. And if he even gets a 70-30 split instead of a 50-50 this year, he's going to be great. Yeah. So, and maybe Melvin will go down and he'll get all of it. You know, in that case, we'll be in trouble. But so then I like what you did next because I believe after that you went Josh Allen in the 3rd round, right?
That's correct. Which is wild because after I picked Kamara, I pretty much went autopilot until my pick came around. I just knew, okay, receiver. I have to go receiver. I did 2 running backs. And then literally the second I heard Jake, you're on the clock, I got this little voice in the back of my head that was like, it could be nice to have the best running backs and the best quarterback. I guess I'm going quarterback. I took him.
It always is tempting when you have a shot at the number 1 guy in a category. You know
especially that far down because like Dave's in our league.
Yeah, it's surprising that he didn't go before you.
Because if I'd have been like 2 picks away from the turn, I probably maybe wouldn't have taken him in the hopes that he comes back around to me. But with 3 people or 4 people after me, knowing there's 8 picks, I know there's no chance I'm getting him back in that 3rd round pick.
Well, and then what you get at receiver, I love like Higgins and Sutton. Now, Sutton is the one that has the biggest come up from quarterback like upgrades. Like I think that's the largest jump in receiver numbers that we're going to see this year. Like if I'm going to pick a receiver who's going to have the best, like, you know, bump up, it's got to be him.
Higgins, you think?
No, Courtland Sutton.
Oh, Cortland Sutton. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, wait a second. Like, no,
Yeah.
Higgins, the same
Yeah,
guy, but
there's
Higgins
talks that
is
Russell
going to be solid, and Cortland Sutton I think is going to have a big season.
Yeah.
A
taking
big
Josh
season
Allen
by
in the third
6.
round did cost me Michael Pittman because Michael Pittman went to Todd the pick before I got T. Higgins, and that bummed me out a little bit. But I think I'm okay with the wash in the end because of who I did end up getting. And then after Sutton, I picked up Allen Robinson for
I
the
know.
Rams, who I think
I
is going to
know.
have such a better season than
I
last
was
year.
very like your first 6 picks, man. That's like it's kind of like
Strong.
very strong.
Strong.
That's an ideal first 6 picks if you ask me. And I'm not just
Mhm.
saying that because if I could find a hole in it, I would. But to be honest with you, like solid work there, man.
I
Mhm.
know thank
You
you. I
know,
know I struggled from overconfidence at times, but I'm sitting there after that 6th pick, just like giddy, talking to Cody like, I love my team.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And I
yeah,
loved your team as it was happening too. Like I
yeah.
just killer.
It
Killer job.
felt really nicely for you, man. I
And
will
as
say that.
nice as it feels, I'm one injury away from being 9th place again. So
Yeah, exactly, man. Like, no
Yeah,
championships are
there's a
built
big
on
chance on that top pick. There's a big chance on that top pick.
yeah,
and even a little one
100%.
with the suspension for Kamara. I think it's getting less by the day, but it's still present.
That
I don't
that
think that's happening, to
that
be honest
Vegas
with you.
odds maker story though makes me nervous about that.
It
Like
was a
not
good thing for Brent, yeah, to throw that in there. Yeah.
yeah, they're not taking the under on his production. Like you follow money. People that
True.
bet for a living have something to say. Like I don't know.
But it's
They
not like
do.
they're taking, I guess they're allowing the opposite bet. I think it's just hedging their bets. I think they're just doing, all right, if the minuscule chance that it does happen, we're going to
Hmm.
lose our ass on
Yeah.
that bet.
That's what I
So
think
just don't
too.
let them do it.
That's what I think too. And also like Schefter is not wrong very much either. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's
Schefter
true.
said it was very unlikely, so it's like I'm gonna go with that until I hear different. And if anything else, like you're gonna get him for the beginning of the season. And if they do suspend him, they might only suspend him 3 games. They're talking 4 games, but it's Alvin Kamara. And you know what I
Well, and
mean?
then
And
I
yeah,
mean, and then we're talking like DeAndre Hopkins, who's got what 4 games or is it 6?
six.
6.
It's 6.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
He's going to miss
which is
half the
quite a
season.
few.
So,
But like
but
he's gonna come back 100%.
with him out, I've got Rondale Moore a couple rounds later as well, who's going to get
Yeah,
increased production in those 6 weeks when there is no Hopkins.
Yeah,
he might be the number 2 out there.
I
Yeah,
just absolutely love Jake's team. I like what it can do late. I love the value at like every single pick. I'm not big on Cole Komet.
Me neither.
But like I
Tight end
also
is
I
sorry, go
mean I
ahead.
mean what direction are we going here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's after Goddard. I was gonna say like is it before or after Goddard? It's after Goddard. And it's after like it's after Dave's second tight end pick. So like
yeah.
so like
Pissed me
You
off.
lost out on
thing
Ertz because of that.
yeah, like
Yeah,
and I was eyeing her. So I mean, like Dave did snake him from me, but I just remember thinking something like, "What? It fucks Dave harder than it fucks me." So like
yeah.
overall, that's probably a win.
It's funny. Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
I think Cole Komet could be. I honestly think Cole Komet could have a good year. Have you watched him at all in the preseason? Justin Fields has been peppering that man. Like every other time he
I have
rolls
not
out,
seen that.
Cole
I have
Komet,
not
Cole
seen
Komet,
that.
Cole Komet, Cole Komet, Cole Komet. He's
Yeah,
throwing
If
the
I'm
ball
being
a lot.
honest, the only reason I picked Cole Komet is because of how high the fantasy footballers had him. By the time it got to me with that pick, he was the best available, and I remember hearing his name a whole bunch of times. Other than that, I haven't done much research on my
They're
own.
not
I'm
the only
not
ones
excited
either,
about it.
man. They're not the only ones. A lot of people are high on Cole Komet as a sleeper this year.
Well, and I
But
picked up Njoku as my second to last pick too, just as another freak athlete who might pull something out of his butt.
yeah,
We'll see.
the only thing that could stop him there, because he is a freak athlete, is one quarterback play, obviously. But Jacoby Brissett doesn't have a big arm, so he could be throwing a lot of close to line of scrimmage targets, which in a half PPR could add some value for Njoku. But the other thing is they do have that really promising young kid there too, Harrison Bryant, who kind of splashed a few times with Baker Mayfield. There's a couple weeks where Harrison Bryant scored a couple touchdowns, I think, last year, and maybe even last year. So, like, I think at 2 tight end sets, it's going to be Njoku and Harrison Bryant on the field. And I don't know, maybe Bryant takes some of that production away from him, but he's your second tight end. So, like,
Yeah,
what are we really
doesn't
talking
really
about?
matter a whole lot. Yep.
Yeah,
And I
but
got Daryl Henderson is another pick I'm not crazy about, but I kind of like it compared to the role he's going to play. I talked to Cody about it before we started recording. Like the Cam Akers went in the 4th round. Daryl Henderson went in the 10th round. They both have question marks on them, but like they're talking about a 50-50 split. And if you get one of them 6 rounds later than the other, that's huge value.
Well,
I saw an interesting video earlier. It something to the effect of if you bet against running backs coming back from Achilles injuries over the last 30 years, you would be 100% correct if you bet against them every single time.
their numbers coming back off it are not good. That's
Yeah.
why I was saying that about J.K. Dobbins too. You bet more on the young guys, you know what I mean? Because they're young.
Mhm.
They're gonna recover better. But like still, ACL is an extremely tough injury to come back from. And you're talking about the position that requires arguably the most athleticism in the whole
Cam
game.
Akers, Cam
you
Akers
know?
is an Achilles, and that's the specific injury that they were talking about, an Achilles injury.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so if you bet against running backs
Yeah,
coming back from Achilles injuries, that would be 100% on time. ACLs, the numbers are big too, but there have been some running backs that have come back from that. Obviously, Adrian Peterson and some other running backs who've made some production, but Achilles injuries specifically, it's never happened.
Well,
Okay.
and correct me if I'm wrong, but you picked up Henderson last season, Cody, did you not? After Henry was down, and that helped you out tremendously a couple weeks because that man
Huge, yeah. I want to say I traded Trish. Can't remember who I gave up, but yeah, Henderson had like 5 really good weeks for me. Him and Cup just combo pirated for probably like 40 a game.
But the thing is, sorry, a little drink break there, folks. But the only thing with Daryl,
you don't need to narrate that now. We have video.
Oh, no, I'll narrate.
So I'm just gonna take a little sip.
Hold on, I'm just gonna
comment.
Get shit on, Patrick. Get shit on.
Hey, man, this is a new world for me. It's a new world for me. Everybody can see my beautiful face. Soon we're gonna have like 100,000 followers, dude. This is the breakthrough we needed. You know, this chiseled jawline, and we're gonna be making millions.
It is a good jawline. You're a handsome man.
Well, you're the host.
Thank you. That's I was
not just the voice.
I was digging for a compliment there. But anyway,
didn't have to go very far.
Should we move on to the next one? I was going to say some stuff about Daryl Henderson, but we've been on Cody's team for a while.
Definitely on Jake's team.
Okay. You guys definitely on Jake's team, as you said.
Yeah, not mine.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about mine.
Did I say Cody's team?
Week 3. Yeah, you did.
You did. I think Jake has the best roster, and this is the only team we've talked about so far that has made this trophy just a wee bit nervous.
We'll get to another one, sir. Just you wait. But anyway, I will impose nervousness upon you. That's how powerful my team is. Anyway, now was the 4th ranked team, right? 4th ranked. That's what we're on.
Yeah, that's Cody.
Cody. All right. The Butthole Records Classic. The unchangeable one. The champions. For now. The season is new. The season's fresh.
Yeah, the winless champions.
Yeah.
Throw that in
there.
The undefeated.
No, that's not.
Hey. Call me winless. Also lossless.
That is true. Technically.
Fair enough.
Technicality.
The other reason that I got McCaffrey at the 8th spot, the Butthole Records with Eckler at number 2. I don't hate Eckler at number 2 because I really think that's a good pick.
It's going to be great. It's going to catch a lot of passes. It's going to score a lot of touchdowns.
And he's all about fantasy football. So, production aside, it's just going to be fun to have him on your team.
It's true. Like being able to follow that guy and just like kind of get involved on a personal level. I think it's gonna be nice.
Mm-hmm.
I think he actively does. Obviously he's a professional football player, right? He's just doing his job. But also, I think he actively does kind of think about his stat lines. You know what I mean? It's not like he's before that he just wasn't getting yards because he didn't know about fantasy football. But it is kind of cool to know that your dude is into it and understands the game, you know, and maybe that adds a half percentage point of value because of
Right.
that, because he'll try a little harder. I don't know.
Like when he
But
breaks away, like when they're like milking the clock down, he's not gonna slide it to two.
he's going into the end zone.
Yeah, he's going in. He's like, I'm gonna let my defense carry this.
He's not gonna Todd Gurley you,
No,
right? But
pissed.
was he on your team when that
No,
happened?
no, just imagine being in that
Yeah,
scenario.
yeah, that would have been a nightmare. Imagine if you needed that touchdown to win too, and he just sits
Because
down.
some people did.
Of course, 100%. There's always one. But
When
and then
you drafted Eckler as backup and have since dropped him, right, Mr. Spiller?
Yep. Streaming
Walker,
a
see that one.
defense. What was that?
Did you pick Spiller just for handcuff purposes and then just decided to change your mind, or?
Once I realized I had to stream a defense since I don't want my defense and my quarterback facing off week one. I was looking at my roster, and the obvious pick is to drop Odell because he's not even on a team. But then I thought, well, Allen will pick him up right away just for spite, and I have a good chance of just adding Isaiah Spiller back in after I remove my defense. I think so. I think the odds of me getting Isaiah Spiller back are higher than getting Odell Beckham Jr. back. Though Odell's probably not going to last very long because I'll have to move things around, and he's not even on a team. So I want that late pick, kind of like you got Hopkins. Bring me that healthy, dynamic receiver late.
Something that can really change the pace of things 4 or 5 weeks in when people start to think things are set.
Yep. Well, they're saying Odell might not be back till like you're saying quite late in the season because he's coming back from that injury still. But I think he's all the reports have been that Sean McVay has been talking to him like regularly, and they have a very strong relationship.
I would love that.
And that I could totally see the Rams bringing him in for like a health check around about week 9, 10. And then he fire him up week 11. You know what I mean? Looks a little
Allen
shaky.
Robinson pick doesn't like the sound of that, but I could see.
I'm just saying, I could see it happening.
Easily. Just get him warmed up for the playoffs.
I'm just saying it could easily happen. I have taken him in a few best ball drafts just because of that reason. I think it's a long shot, but like he was your last pick, was he not?
Yep, last pick.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the other thing I was going to say about Isaiah Spiller, it's not necessarily clear that he's the backup. They've been talking about Josh Kelly as the number 2. So, I mean, he is the rookie. So, and Josh Kelly had a chance and didn't do much with it. So, you're probably not wrong that Isaiah Spiller will overtake him at some point, but it's not necessarily clear at this point,
Yeah, and at that point on depth, it was just something easy to move. Like you got to win every week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And looking at that roster over and down, I'm like, how much is Isaiah Spiller going to mean here? I need a defense.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And we already talked about you have the running backs being pretty damn solid. So
yeah, Javonte,
a whole lot of depth.
Yep.
Not only do you have like star performers, but
even my
now they've shown no really injury risk, so you can count on them almost every week.
Yeah, and then my third running back down is Tony Pollard. And if that offense goes in the direction that, well, just as Cowboys fans, you kind of want it to go to, you want to see more 20.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think they're just going to it's going to be short passing, man. I don't see how they're not going to have a huge component of their offense be short passing. I don't think you can be. What did you say?
I was going to say the buzz around the team is that he's gotten even a little bit quicker than last year too. So unless they're just building him up to scare people, he could definitely be a short pass threat.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? Like, hey, out of the shot, like, you run that guy inside zone out of shotgun with one in tight end. He looks pretty good doing that last year too. You know what I mean? He's not necessarily an I formation, line him up back, but the Cowboys when the Cowboys running I formation. They don't do a lot of
3 years ago when they had an offensive line. But
not since this offensive coordinator took over.
Yeah. It's also like that's
archaic.
That's some Raven shit. You know what I mean?
I thought you were gonna say that's some Reagan shit. I'm like,
that would be funny. But no, that's
what is a Reagan era football?
Some 1980s stuff. Right. 3 tight ends, 2 fullbacks, run the wishbone, put one big wide receiver out there. Let's make it happen. But
Speaking of
Yeah, I like
Cowboys, you
Tyreek.
could bring up the Dak Hill or the Dak Prescott pick too.
Mm.
Is that a homer pick or?
A little bit, but I mean, he's also been top 5 and lead the league in passing for what 2 of the last 3 years because of that injury. So like, where the quarterbacks went, because I got Lamar Jackson snaked from me right before that Terry McLaurin pick. I got CeeDee Lamb taken from me. Patrick 2 picks before, and so like one, yeah, there's a little bit of homer action there, but I mean, I do believe in that Cowboys offense to put up at least fantasy numbers uh, every year. And when I see that not happen under Kellen Moore for the first time, I'll think about that. But until then,
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see CD as the true number one. You know what I mean? Because that's a big step up. That means double teams. You know what I mean? It means
Thus,
Jalen Ramsey on you.
it means
It
over the
means
top, it means
yeah,
underneath, it means over the middle. Like you got to do it all.
yep. So it'll be interesting. I mean, he definitely has the athleticism to do it, but I'm not going to say I'm not nervous that he could be kind of a bust. You know?
Yeah, he ain't
Um,
seen him do it yet.
exactly. But I mean, same thing with Tyreek in Miami. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Can Tua get him the ball? We saw him do it a few times in the preseason, looked real nice, but that's vanilla ball. Defenses
Yeah.
aren't
Yeah,
really playing during
there's a
that.
lot
You
of
know what I mean?
uncertainty about that Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. Which one was the real contributor that made the other
Yeah.
one kind of shine? We're gonna
Yeah,
find
and
out.
you gotta think it's Patrick Mahomes, right?
That's the
Like
first instinct.
that's my first instinct, and that's speaking with Tyreek Hill on my team. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I
But
think
I mean, do we think Tua has an arm though? Because I think Tua is athletic enough to get the ball deep. It's just a matter of
I
like,
think
can he be
I
accurate?
don't think he needs to get the ball deep to make Tyreek Hill one of the best receivers in the game. We just talking about the way that man moves with
that's
with
fair.
any space.
Wide
You know what I'm
receiver
saying?
screen could be an 80-yard play.
Yeah.
I just think it'll be interesting to see how that all shakes out because Tua had a very tight relationship with Jalen Waddle last year too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like he already kind of has that rapport there. If things don't start off well with Tyreek, we know that man's attitude. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
But we also
Like
know that they gave up the house for him.
that's true. They're
And
gonna throw him the ball for sure.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's one of my picks. I gotta scroll down to find it. My Christian Kirk, uh, very heavily levied like by money. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
They paid him.
when there's a hard cap in this league, and if one person takes up a percentage of that cap that is that significant, then the order comes from upstairs. Like this man's got to touch the ball.
Yeah, you got to throw him the ball. Otherwise, what are we doing? Hey, the shareholders are getting pissed. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, it's like
Yeah, and it's
yeah,
a business, and it's
yeah,
something to keep in mind. For better or worse, for winning is one thing, but I'm not drafting a winning team. I'm drafting a fantasy team.
exactly.
Uh, and so I need them to get the ball.
Well,
I
the
need them to get the ball
speed,
and go for it.
the
Yep.
speed on Christian Kirk is nothing to sneeze at, and Trevor Lawrence has a cannon.
I've got a lot of trade bait on this team.
Christian Kirk is definitely going to be the one down there. Whether or not that means anything, we'll see.
But having a
Or if it's gonna
one,
be another Chenault.
yeah,
having a one in the 9th round is sweet.
yep, gotta like that. Absolutely.
And then right behind him,
Um,
Michael Gallup coming back. He'll be the number 2, and you got him in the 10th round. So
Yep,
and
I
they're saying
really. I got Adam Thielen on my. We haven't even talked about Adam Thielen. I got Adam
you
Thielen
got,
on my
true.
you
team.
got wide receiver depth for days, my guy.
Yes, I do.
But that
I
can
have
sometimes bite you in the ass when you every week have to figure out which 3 to play, and then you get someone on your bench that puts up 20, and you kick yourself all week.
And this is why I would like to open the floor to the first trades
trade for
of
a
the
running
season.
back. This guy,
because you're nervous.
nice.
No, not nervous because I've got killer wide receivers. And people are gonna get nervous real early when their receivers ain't getting no balls.
Let's be
They're gonna-
easy with the killer.
they're gonna see
all
a lot
They're
of-
okay. They're
Yeah, but-
okay.
Killer.
But what dead zone running back are you going to get in exchange for Adam Thielen?
Go for J.K. Dobbins.
Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. Josh Jacobs.
No, I want Sony Michelle.
Yeah, he was.
I'm sure he's
cut.
available. So
Yeah, he will be on waivers, ladies and gentlemen. He is a gone.
Damn.
But Sony Michelle. But um yeah, man, I think Terry McLaurin's gonna have a better year too. Just put a little bit
Quarterback
of
upgrade.
yeah, absolutely. Even though
But
it's
that was
Carson
barely.
Wentz.
that was
No,
my
it's
one
I think it's
caveat.
pretty big actually, but
That was my one caveat to that NFC's quarterback conversation I had earlier. I was like, well, my number 2 receiver is is a part of that list.
yeah, that's true.
But with shittier quarterbacks, opinions aside, he's just consistent numbers. As far as ADP goes, that's right where he belongs, and I think he got an upgrade. So, like, if he stays healthy, which he's always done, I think he'll be just fine.
Well, he's had some minor stuff, but yeah, he's never had anything major to my memory. The thing I was gonna say, Jake, disputing that point about the quarterback upgrade is that like I think Carson Wentz is a massive upgrade from Heineke.
To be
You know what
fair,
I
I
mean?
do too, but I was just
Yeah.
being a troll.
Okay. I was gonna say because Heineke, man, I love that dude's moxie. I love how hard he played. I love his
Yeah.
passion, but he could not hit the broadside of a barn. He
Nope.
was skyballing him 10 feet over McLaurin's head on out routes, and we
It
do
just
know.
it
Sorry, go
makes
ahead.
me think so much about the Case Keenum situation. Like I think Case Keenum's a little better than Heineke, like understandably, but
Mhm.
the hype was all there and he was fun to watch and he played with so much emotion. He rallied his team because of it. And then you just kicked him to the curb the next year and brought in Kirk Cousins, who's obviously there's a lot of hype about them this year because they're a new offensive coordinator. But since then, he didn't shit. But like lead his
Yeah,
team to second place in the division every year.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Well, which
and,
is which
and
is
not really make the playoffs,
kind of
but yeah,
Yeah.
understandable because Aaron Rodgers is in that division.
that's true. But I mean, Packers, we own that division. What can we say? It's our division, NFC
Yeah,
North,
you do
synonymous with
for as
Packers.
long as Aaron Rodgers wants to play football.
Hey, man, you know what? Jordan Love coming along a little bit.
No, he's
And
not. He'll
first
lie to me.
positive thing that
He'll
I've
lie to me on camera.
hey, I watched him all preseason long. Come along a little bit. Come along a little bit. We'll see.
Did you draft him?
No, I drafted him in my
Oh,
dynasty league though. I did
okay.
draft him in my dynasty league on sleeper. Yep.
Weird how
Hmm.
positive you are about him, but you don't want any part of him on your team.
I'm in our league. Absolutely not. There's far better guys. He's a backup quarterback for God's
I mean,
sakes.
as long as you said it.
Yeah.
Man,
But anyway,
that was
do we want to
brutal.
talk about Mike Williams, guys, or any of these other guys, or do you want to move
Yeah,
on?
Mike Williams is a great pick. Again, you got great wide receivers on your team.
Way wide receiver depth.
Yes, you got some great depth. I really liked what you did.
My flex position is going to be wide receiver all season long.
Your tight end position is
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, I think I have the last tight end taken. I should have taken Kelsey when I had the chance at number 2. And the next time it was like quarterbacks for me last year. Like I wanted Kyler Murray and then it didn't go. And then I wanted Dak Prescott. And I kept losing like right before. And then Dave taking Zach Ertz as his second tight end I'm like, well, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do with that.
Yeah.
You got the tight end 14 on a 12-man league.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is though,
I
right?
want Vikings. I want Cowboys. I want Chargers. I want Vikings. I think those offenses are going to be great.
They're going to throw the ball over the field, and what you're hoping for with Big Irv, Swervin Irvin as they call him, is that he catches 8 touchdowns this year. That he's a red zone man. Because if he does that, then he did what he needed to for your team. If he's catching a touchdown every other week, every 3 weeks, and then otherwise giving you 5-6 points, then that'll be fine on your team. You know what I mean?
I went with a like a team oriented like goal on a lot of things. I know there's just some offenses that I wanted to have pieces in, and I picked them, and I would have, and I got them. So
yeah, absolutely.
We'll see how that shakes out. I don't think I like my team quite as well as I like Jake's team, but but my team can also sustain. I feel like some disaster better than his too.
I think so too. You definitely got me on depth. I think that I got just a little bit more shine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't like
right here.
oh God. All right, let's get off his team so if we don't get any more trophy references, for God's sakes.
I won't stop that.
I'm gonna throw up here in a second, folks. What do we for the record, as soon as I win, I will be doing all of this as well. So I'll be a huge hypocrite. But anyway, which will be this year, by the way.
You gotta win one, man.
Hey, sir, we're about
I
to
have
talk
won
about,
one, sir.
I don't think your name's on a trophy.
Just not on the trophy.
We're about to talk about Dave's team before we talk about your team.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
That makes me sad. That hurts me inside. That
That
feels
should
like ESPN doesn't know me like I feel they should. You know what I mean?
Like,
I've been so loyal.
Like, right on.
ESPN's Pagan Patrick. Pagan Patrick on ESPN 9.
ESPN 9, the Nueve.
Full strategy con.
See how it works out for him. ESPN. Anyway,
all right, well, unless there's any other comments on Cody's, I think we're off to Dave now.
Let's do it. Off to Team Chaos. And boy, does that name apply to this draft, folks.
Right. Just having to listen to that man in a room for that long was chaos.
Ouch.
Was it not
you
funny?
played Catan with him.
He's amazing. He plays into it so much. I love that he does. It's so much fun. He gets up there and like he just starts talking. He's like, I have the floor for 2 minutes.
I love that. And he stood up on the bench. That was fantastic.
I was a little nervous.
I know who I'm picking, but I'm gonna make you listen to me for the full 2 minutes.
Oh yeah. I was there for it. I thought it was hilarious.
I was nervous he was gonna fall.
Yeah, well, that's his own fault. Okay,
I thought I would have
called the hospital for him, or then
sustain our first ACL in our league.
He probably would have drafted himself right after that.
Well, with all this draft combine talk, with all this draft combine talk, I'm a little worried for the future of our league's health here. We're gonna have to have some precautions if we implement that for the draft order selection.
Okay.
But
can I sub somebody in?
Yeah. But yeah, we have avatars. We just go like pick. We all go pick like one Seaside High School student.
I'm picking Phoenix, Jake's dog. That's my champion for the combine.
I'll put Mila up there versus anyone, man. It's Stockton Hall, dude.
Yeah.
Anyway, but anyway, yeah, completely off the rails. But
can we get a train sound for the podcast for every time we have to correct course?
No, a train sound, but one like of a train like crashing, just going
off the rails.
Yeah, exactly. Totally.
People screaming in the distance.
Yeah, no, that would be great. We have to do this. That'd be amazing. So okay, we're talking about Dave. To Dave's team on that note. Going off the rails. Sound effects. To Dave's team.
So in Dave's position, should Dave have taken McCaffrey, or was he right taking the number one wide receiver?
Yes, he should have taken McCaffrey.
What pick was he would have been?
He was 7. He was directly before me, I believe.
He took Cup instead of McCaffrey.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Jefferson was gone, so they were the two best available.
If Dave would have followed any actual draft strategy, he could have went like 0 RB, which is a strategy to go like just completely.
He almost did.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
he tried that last year.
Well, actually, you know what? He kind of did do 0 RB, didn't he? Because he went Cooper Kupp, Mike Evans, and then Kyle Pitts. That's what he did, right?
No, he took Leonard Fournette in the second round.
No. Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna do that, I think if you get Cooper Kupp, then yeah, you just hammer the wide receiver position. And then you try to hit on Kyle Pitts, sure. But you don't get a running back until like, maybe you're going for like, I don't know who you're going for in the 4th or 5th round, but you pick one of those guys that you believe in.
Is it Damian Harris?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do this, but I'm explaining like if he would have followed that strategy, it could have worked out much better for him. That's all I'm saying for future drafts, Dave. But anyway, it's just a strategy. Like you stack your wide receivers so hard, and then if you hit on one guy in that middle round, and then you get any type of like mediocre running back other than that, you can just bury teams. You know what I mean? If you hit on that one running back in between ADP, like 18 and 25 running backs, like it can be a strategy that could win your league.
That's a good strategy.
but he didn't
But that's not
follow
what Dave did.
it. So
Let's talk about what Dave did.
let's
Dave-
talk about what Dave did.
You know what Dave did do? Dave took 2 defenses. He took 2 tight ends, and he took both of those tight ends in the first 7 rounds.
And
Which
2
is
quarterbacks.
Wild.
2 quarterbacks
Never
I
been
don't
done.
hate only because of the 2 that he got. I think that one of those will be probably a pretty good quarterback. But on top of the fact that he took 2 of the others as well, it just leaves almost no depth. Your bench, what, 5 spots in an IR? Is that right? Or is it
Yeah.
6 in an IR? Because he's
It's a
got
shallow, like
a
we
backup
have a.
defense, a backup tight end, and a backup quarterback every week, just eating up his bench.
I know it's nuts.
It ain't good.
I mean, I'm sure it's been done by somebody else somewhere in the fantasy universe, but I've never witnessed it.
It ain't gonna be Dave.
You know.
I mean,
Well, no, I mean, I've
I've
never witnessed somebody take 2 tight ends in the first 7 rounds. That's
That
what
he
I'm
doesn't
saying.
believe in probabilities.
Kind of, but he's the kind. He lives his life in such a fast-paced. I don't know how to say it other than he makes a lot of bold claims, and occasionally one of them will hit, and he'll look like he really knows what he's doing for a short amount of time. You know what I mean?
If you overlook the 30 other bold claims that he made, that all did not turn out.
I'm trying to give some positive, so we're not just spewing.
And I'm trying to strike that down as collectively as possible.
Dave is like the Zoltar of our fantasy league. Okay. Zoltar, you know Zoltar, the old like gypsy. No, he's like the guy.
Zoltan.
He's no,
Zoltan.
yeah, that's Zoltan. But no, he Zoltar is that's right, Zoltan. Okay, so anyway, oh no, anyway, so enough. Anyway, but Zoltar is that one of those old animatronic like he's the guy that wears the turban that's inside like the machine.
Okay.
Like
the tell your fortune thing.
Yeah, exactly, and it prints out. So
Yeah.
it's like he's the Zoltar of our fantasy league because he's right like 1 out of 30 times. Like one time he gives somebody like the most accurate like fortune that they've ever had, and it all comes true. But you have to ignore the other fucking 3,000 that had nothing to do with that person.
I think they call that the buckshot approach, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
He's throwing a bucket of pennies at a target in a pond, and one of them hits. He's like, "Hey, look how good I am."
Yeah. You know, the blind nut finds a squirrel every once in a while, folks. You know what I mean?
After he trips over it.
Once a day.
Dave, you're the dog shit of this analogy. If you haven't figured that out.
Oh man.
I love you, Dave.
All right. Well, we roasted him pretty good. So
Mike Evans was a good pick.
Mike Evans was a great pick. Like I said,
Mike Evans is a good pick.
I kept covering up everything after round 5 because I truly believe the first 5 rounds were fine.
I don't like Leonard Fournette.
I don't like Leonard Fournette either, but like it's understandable. It's not.
I really don't like him as your number 1 running back.
Me either. But you know, I have been a little news from a homer in my other league. The host of my dynasty league that I joined it with a bunch of random people this year, and he's from Tampa. And I was talking to him about Leonard Fournette because we were trying to do, you know, it's like a dynasty league trade. So we were trading like a fucking 3rd string running back that we were higher on or some shit, you know, whatever. So he was the backup to Lenny though. And I was like, I don't know if I had him, I think. And I was saying like, I don't know if I want to let him go because didn't Lenny come in like fat and out of shape this year and like unmotivated or whatever, like he's done before. And he was telling me that actually the beat writers were saying that Lenny looked just fine. The problem in Tampa Bay, though, is that offensive line is decimated. The entire interior of that offensive line is destroyed. The center's gone. Jensen, one of the best centers in the league. You know what I mean? And then you have one of the guards from the Super Bowl run team retired. And then the other one got traded. Ali Marpet got traded, I believe, and then Alex Kappa retired, or the other way around. So, you know, and then one of the backups is already hurt too. So, you know what I mean? That's what you got for an interior line. Like, and you know, he did come into camp overweight, which is not good for your body, you know, to cut all that weight and then head into the season. You know what I mean? That generally does lead to injury. Happened to Eddie Lacy. You know what I mean?
Cheeseburger Lacy.
Yeah. So
God, he was so fat.
Oh yeah,
he was huge.
He was so fat.
It was fun watching him run over people that one time, though.
Yeah, it was.
That one time.
That one time.
What else we got?
He had a few good times in Green Bay, but yeah. Anyway,
we gotta cook. We gotta cook.
Yeah, we gotta move because we're getting thick in the middle here, folks. We could
just
do
like Leonard Fournette.
That's right. Hey, see, it all comes together. Let's start buzzing a little bit through. So we did Cooper Cup, Mike Evans, talk about Lenny, Damian Harris. Ramondre is going to overtake him. I think Ramondre is overtaking him this year. I think Ramondre is a more talented back. I don't think Damian's going to be in on third downs. And I think sometimes Ramondre will steal a drive from him. I think Ramondre might steal a week from him if he fumbles. You know what I mean? So
no, you're right. Like dead on. But like forget about Leonard Fournette. He needs Damian Harris to hit because if not, his third running back was his 14th pick, and it's Khalil Herbert.
Yeah, He better hope for his Homer starting running back to get injured so that his backup.
Oh wow, what a thing to hope for!
I know. Yeah,
Dave, come see me about Tony Pollard. Holy shit!
He picked a second defense before he picked a third running back.
I know. The man's wild. It's bold guy. I tell you what.
Chaotic, if you will.
He likes, chaotic. You know, that's what I said. His team is aptly named, and I just feel like he likes to donate money. You know what I mean?
And I really appreciate that, Dave. Thank you.
His
Thank
wife
you.
knows that too.
From the bottom of my heart.
Oh, jeez. All right, we've been too hard on Dave. We love Dave.
I don't know about that. That's an opinion.
I love Dave.
So the league is better with him in it, but not
the league
not performance-wise.
Yeah, not like competitively better because Dave's in it, but like entertainment value is higher.
That's right. And that's what we're here for.
For me personally.
Yep.
That's what we're here for. And the wins and the money.
That's why we do what we do.
Yeah.
Speaking of middle of the pack, should we move on to Patrick?
Yeah. The only thing I wanted to say, that was some shade, but I'll just blow right past it and talk about one last thing about Tommy Buckets is that not to go all TMZ on you, but apparently he's having a massive home brouhaha with Giselle right now because she's not happy that he's going to play this year. Just this little inside football there for you.
I saw that article too, and he's the best to ever do it. I don't think it's going to matter.
Probably not, but we just like to guess.
It could mean that it's his last time doing it, but I don't know, man. He's so good.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be wild? Wouldn't it be wild if he just
don't
like
bet
quit?
Against TB12. You just don't do it.
Ever.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. I think he's probably going to be great, but everybody has been saying though, the only thing that has ever gotten to Brady is interior pressure. With that O-line, you know what I mean? With that O-line being weak, you face a team that's got two solid guys in the middle, maybe a blitz up the middle. You get in his face. Might be the recipe to beat Tommy this year. You know what I'm saying?
Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. You're gonna know first week. That's who they're playing.
Yeah,
but it would be a pretty sweet revenge after that beat that they gave him last year. But
I mean, it was a one-score game that came down to the last drive. But
it was a one-score,
pretty bad beat.
Dallas did throw the ball pretty well that game. They could not run it at all, though. I remember that. Nor could anybody else. But so my team cooking by the book with the Thanos icon. You know how we do. Purple. What? We had.
How do you do?
We had a theme.
What's the
How do we do? How do we do? We
lose first round of the playoffs.
We never miss
first round of the playoffs.
We have a fluke loss to the guy who ends up going to the final.
Wait,
okay, because we handed him Jamar Chase, which was a huge mistake.
So strung up by your own doings.
Oh yeah, exactly. So the only thing in my way is
because you're gonna
lose.
A Thanos emblem because you're gonna eliminate half your team through the season.
No, it's a Thanos emblem because I'm inevitable. That's right, folks. Boom.
That's it.
Fired back.
Did you watch the end of that movie?
He died twice.
They killed him 2 times.
Did you watch the part in the first movie where he owned everyone? That's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough. The part
that was like watching my uncle get beat up, making you have that quip.
I got nothing else. The
You guys,
inevitable thing doesn't
you
want
guys
my.
remember when he was good though? Fuck.
You guys remember when he had all 5 power stones? Anyway, we're getting off the
All
rails.
right, so Dalvin
So,
Cook,
so
yeah, I
Dalvin
think,
Cook,
yeah, there you go.
I just believed in him more than McCaffrey, man. Simple and short. That's the thing. I think Dalvin Cook's gonna be great this year, and if I'm wrong, then I'm gonna very much regret it. But because if he's not great, my depth at running back is not amazing. Um, but I have a feeling that AJ Dillon is gonna do it. I have a feeling that AJ Dillon is gonna do what Kareem Hunt has done in Cleveland plus some. And Kareem Hunt was a top 10 running back for like the first half of last year as the backup. You know what I mean? Nick Chubb was hurt a little bit of that period, but some of that was literally him just on the field in 2 running back sets or on the field on the passing downs and just making it work for him. AJ Dillon is a massive man. And I was telling myself I didn't want to leave the draft without him. He's such an athletic freak. Matt LaFleur, I've been telling you guys this for years. He has an axe to grind about the fact that Derrick Henry did not become Derrick Henry until he left. He wants to prove that he can take this behemoth running back and make him the next Derrick Henry. I firmly believe that. So
that sounds like a lot of convincing yourself of something. And
yeah, exactly. Well, that's what you got to do in fantasy football, is it not? You got to create a narrative that you believe in, right?
They do call it fantasy football. So
yeah,
I mean,
well, you have to have something that,
makes it fun.
That leads you to make a pick over another pick. Otherwise, how do you decide one guy over the other?
And sometimes it happens to be grasping at straws.
Exactly.
Sometimes,
and that's the nature of my playing as a
use
fantasy football player. I grasp at a lot of straws, and then some of them don't have holes in them.
Yeah. I feel like you've been hanging out with Dave too much.
I feel like I haven't slept enough, is what I feel like. But then anyway, we get CeeDee Lamb second. Like I said, we were talking about that earlier.
It could be awesome. It could be awesome. Risky.
Exactly. There's a lot of risk involved with that pick.
I think there's a lot of risk involved in. I think there's a lot of risk in your top 2 picks, and that's tough on top 2 picks.
But here's the thing, man. Okay.
What's the thing?
Like I just said, I've made the playoffs every year. When's the last time I won it? You got to risk it to get.
We're going. You got to risk performance to validate.
You got to risk it.
Team.
You got to risk it to get the biscuit, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's my team, dude. It's pure risk.
They're you usually make the playoffs because you make some good trades during the season, though.
I don't know about that, man. I feel like I made 4 trades last season. I made the season that I won the championship. I made 1 great trade and got Juju, and that's why I won. That was Juju's 1 great year.
Last season, that trade that you made was the thing that did you in.
Absolutely was.
Yep.
Should never have made that trade.
And we told you when you did it that was going to happen.
I just really, I don't know. We don't need to rehash last season, but anyway. So
you don't want to rehash last season, Mr. I make the playoffs every year.
I'm just trying to think about the listener, guys. If you guys want to go into the past history of fantasy, I'm here for it. But I'm just trying to move things along for.
So Kyler Murray.
So Kyler Murray, exactly. Didn't want to go through the pain that I had last year of not having a quarterback after I made that, because I think I made that trade with you, Jake. Correct? I gave you Dak and Chubb. No, I gave you. Yeah, did I not give you Dak and Chubb for McCaffrey?
Sure I traded McCaffrey 3 days before he went down, but then Chubb was a potato as well.
Which again crushed me. You know what I mean? So then I'm quarterbackless and McCaffreyless. So that pain is 100% the reason for 2 of my picks this year. And I know you're not supposed to do that, but I'm not going to have this season go the same way it went last year. We're going to do it a different way.
Yeah, you clearly went top people at positions because Mark Andrews at 100%.
100%.
I
think Mark Andrews.
Go ahead.
What are you saying?
You go ahead.
No. I think Mark Andrews is the only guy there. It's Mark Andrews and unproven Rashad Bateman, who they're high on and could be good. And then their next target is their second tight end who flashed in the preseason, this Isaiah Likely kid.
They're going to run the ball. They're going to run
exactly. They're going to run
and
the ball.
And they're going to throw it to Mark Andrews.
Yeah. That's right. So that's why we took Mark Andrews, because I think he has a chance to be a tight end 1 this year.
Yeah, he's gonna have numbers like a running back just because he's gonna get that many touches.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's going to be nice in half PPR because that man catches a lot of passes.
Agreed.
But Michael Thomas, we'll see. Could be amazing if he's the Michael Thomas of old. Like, yeehaw, we're going to title town, baby. But if
Michael
he's over
Thomas
the
is
hill,
done.
I don't think so.
Michael Thomas is just like Jimmy Graham.
Oh God, he's only like 28.
How old was
Okay.
Jimmy Graham when he left Drew Brees?
Probably about 28.
But he's a tight end, man. It's different. Okay, like there's
Why is
been
it
plenty of
different?
wide receivers.
He was a tight end in name alone.
That's true. He played a lot of like wide receiver, but the thing is that
Had a very similar build to like a Michael Thomas, you might say.
nah, maybe. I don't know. I think Michael Thomas is much better route runner than Jimmy Graham. I think Jimmy Graham's a freak athlete and he was great in the red zone.
Okay.
For the record, Jimmy Graham was 29 when he left New Orleans.
Oh yeah.
I love having a stats guy.
It's nice.
Way to go, Mr. Wilson.
That split screen. Get the split screen.
3 monitors makes it real easy.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Man. I need to get some split screen action so I can refute all this shade Cody's throwing at me. But I'll find some stats. But anyway,
you, my friend.
Michael Thomas, the beat writers, it's all been positive. He's dealing with a little bit of an injury right now, but they're just resting him so he's ready for week 1. Hey, we'll find out early. And if he looks like shit, you know what? We'll be here for the trades. We'll figure it out. That's why I went with some depth with Julio, Marquez, and Tony, though. One of those, I don't think all 3 of those guys are not going to hit. But one of them is going to hit, and I think one of them is going to hit big. So that's why I took him.
You took some chances, and we'll see how that goes out because you needed to.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I got sniped on who I wanted. I wanted Hunter Renfrow so bad as my wide receiver 3. I think Hunter Renfrow as a wide receiver 3 is like the greatest thing ever. I think he's one of the best wide receiver 3s you can get. And so I was kind of on tilt, to use a phrase after Erica took him and was wondering what I was going to do. And so that's why I went Tony, because I believe it was Tony that I took first and then it was MVS. But,
and while you're talking about wide receivers, that Julio Jones pick, though, way late, I think that could turn out to be a killer pick.
I know. I'm very interested to see what Julio has left. Again, I feel like there's a non-zero chance that the Bucs could actually be bad on offense this year. I feel like it's possible. They have a lot of talent, but you have to have an offensive line when you have a stature quarterback. So I mean, we'll see. But if they're good, man, yeah, you're right. Don't bet against them. But I'm just saying,
he's never had a bad offense.
Even the year
he's had offenses that were not as explosive in the passing game before. So but they have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Julio Jones. So
it's been 18 years since he's had one of those teams. But yeah, okay.
No, he's had some of them teams there where the focus was on running for sure. LeGarrette Blount years, like they had some years where they were running the ball quite a bit.
They might have ran the ball well, but that was never a focus.
Yeah, you're using the exception as the rule.
Hey, that's what we do here, okay?
That's what you do here.
Anyway, getting off the rails. I'm super high on Chase Edmonds this year.
You must be super high.
Makes one of us.
Well, I mean, I'm high on the non-sleep juice, but that is a potent drug at times. But the thing is that Chase Edmonds, okay, one of the reasons why I'm so high on it is because he specifically went to Miami because of the scheme that they pitched him and that offensive coordinator uses. Okay. In the zone running scheme and zone running plays based on PFF scores and data, Chase Edmonds, most efficient runner in the NFL in a zone running scheme. Miami specifically went and got him to play in that scheme. Chase Edmonds is electric. If he can stay healthy and he gets 10 touches or more a game, he's going to be great. And as a flex, love him.
I think your best action late. I mean, there's always that Julio Jones pick that could turn out, but the Valdez Scantlin pick where it is could hit really heavy. I like where both of those guys are. I think Tony's a complete fucking waste of a pick, but those other two.
I think there's going to be some weeks if I can pick it right and throw him in the flex, I'm going to be very happy, but I don't disagree with you. I think he's a risky pick.
Yeah.
I like Nico Collins a lot. I watched
Yeah?
him preseason.
I don't know
watched him
a
in the
thing
preseason.
about Nico Collins.
He had a very quietly solid year last year, and I believe he was a rookie last year. Could be wrong about that, but I believe he was a rookie last year with that rookie quarterback, the General Davis Mills down there. And people forget, like, yeah, Houston was terrible, right? And they were getting
They
crushed.
are.
But Davis Mills was throwing 300 yards a game. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah. I mean, because
so
of a lot of garbage, like
that's what I'm
time
saying.
stuff. Yeah,
But he
you're not
can
wrong.
do it. He's a quarterback that can do it. You know what I mean? He's not a great quarterback, but he's a quarterback that can throw 300 yards a game. There's some quarterbacks, right?
He's a quarterback that could throw 300 yards a game when everyone's sitting in a cover 4 and they just allow 8-yard dumps.
When is that not going to be happening for Houston again this year? You know what I mean? So I just think that Nico Collins is going to be like at least a playable fill-in because he's going to get targets and he's going to get yards.
Yeah, you're probably right.
You know,
even the description on ESPN under Nico Collins says he's a lottery ticket. So you got about the same odds.
There you go.
I mean, he's not like I have solid, wide receivers up top as long as Michael Thomas can do something. I think I'm going to get anchored by CeeDee Lamb, and then I just got to find one other guy, and then we'll figure out flex. So I feel solid about my team. I like having Ramondre as well. I think Ramondre is going to be great this year. And so again, like we were saying, and then also Packers at defense. People will be sleeping on the Packers defense, Ben.
I don't give a shit about fantasy defenses.
They're gonna be great.
You're not gonna get
there's
any points from me bragging about your fantasy defense. You know what
I
mean?
mean? There's 2 or 3 a year that are worth a shit, and the only ones that really are the ones that have like the crazy high turnover ratio, and those never repeat. So like it's a crapshoot on defense.
It's true, but I think the thing is I was able to grab a few more of my guys late, Kenny Gainwell and Nico Collins, because I waited on defense. So, like, I'm just saying that I think the Packers are going to outperform where I got them. That's all I'm saying. I know defense is not that important unless you get the New England defense that one year where they scored a touchdown like every week. You know what I mean? Like it's very rare, you know. But anyway, we can move on if you guys want. What were you going to say?
Oh yeah, no, just more about defense. No one gives a shit.
Yeah, it's not important, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about my kicker. All right. So Matt, no.
Who's our next projected team now that all of the podcast trio has been?
Should we just end it? I mean, I think that's like.
I mean, who cares now?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, can we do a part 2 for the back half?
Like yeah, I mean, nobody really gives a shit about them. They're not making playoffs.
Nah, everybody else sucks.
I'm just kidding.
Next is
anyway. So anyway, Erica's over here like I gotta go to bed. Hey, you're in it for the long haul. We're on team 7. All right, so here we go.
Team 7.
Yeah,
is it only 7?
Yeah,
we're halfway through the teams.
Let's speed it up a little bit.
We need to.
We do got to do it justice. So who's number 7?
Allen.
Allen's got a bad team.
Let me look. I remember not being super stoked.
I'm concerned about it. I am concerned about it.
I'm concerned that he just lost himself a jersey.
I do not see a lot of massive point scores on this team. But you know what, though? Like, Allen has somehow called some shots on like some young players in recent years, and it's worked out for him. And he does have
college ball. He's pretty knowledgeable.
Garrett Wilson, man, was a big time player at Ohio State. I don't think he's as good as a route runner as Chris Olave was, but he's a better athlete in some ways. He's still playing for the Jets, but that's the problem, man. You got to have a quarterback. Okay? You have Joe Flacco and Zach Wilson. You have the worst young prospect at quarterback. to come out of that draft class. I mean, who's worse than Zach Wilson out of that class? None of them. You know what I mean? So,
Took
like,
him way too high.
I would argue that you would be better off with Mitch Trubisky
I think
Oof.
easy
for the
you would.
Jets, to be
Oof.
honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
I
so
don't
it's like
know.
Tyrod Taylor would be a better quarterback.
I have not seen anything out of Zach Wilson that tells me that he can play successfully at an NFL level. So, I mean, that's the thing I have to say about Garrett Wilson. But the thing is he does have Devontae, you know. But the thing is Devontae going to light it up with Derek Carr like he did with Aaron Rodgers? He might.
I think he does. I'm
I
not.
think he
super
does.
I think
concerned
he has a
about
good
that one.
year. I think
I
he
mean,
has
they
a
did go
good
to
year, but
they went to college together. You know, they got familiarity.
that's
I like
true.
Allen's first 3 picks. I think DeAndre Swift and a half PPR is great. He's one
But
of
the
the only weapons they
touchdowns,
got.
the touchdowns though, man. I'm worried about the touchdowns out there in Detroit. Sorry, I moved my monitor. I gotta shift position here.
I mainly just like DeAndre Swift because of the other options that are available at that point. It's like him or like once Joe
I
Mixon
think
goes, it's DeAndre Swift or Leonard Fournette as the next best running back. So I think the gap between those is substantial.
mm-hmm. It's accurate.
So you said you're talking about what was it? You said DeAndre Swift and then Cam Akers. What was the last thing you said?
No,
No,
I'm
not
saying
Cam Akers.
by the time DeAndre Swift or Allen's pick came around, the number 9 pick, once Joe Mixon is gone, the best running backs are DeAndre Swift and Leonard Fournette. And
But he
Yeah.
had the option to take Mixon. He took Swift over Mixon, and I think that was a mistake.
Yeah, because Mixon's going to get more touchdowns, man. Touchdowns are
Yep.
king.
Yeah.
Like DeAndre Swift's going to catch a lot of passes, sure, and so that'll close the gap a little bit, but not enough. You know
Yeah,
what I
you're
mean?
right.
You're
Well,
talking
and
about a guy that's on one of the best offenses in the league and improved their offensive line a lot.
mightily.
Yeah.
But like the DeAndre Swift pick feels a little nastier when you start eyeballing for all right. So where are the other running backs at? You got Cam Akers, who's never going to be Cam Akers again, who's going to split time, and then you're going to go Miles Sanders.
I know. I don't like that pick. Miles Sanders is, I mean, he's going to be like, Miles Sanders is going to get 12 carries a game, and he's not going to catch the ball because Kenny Gainwell's catching the ball. And you know what? If Miles Sanders fumbles the ball, guess who the goal line backs can be? Boston Scott. So
the goal line running back there is already Jalen Hurts. I mean, it's
well, yeah, that too. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So it's like I would not have touched Miles Sanders with a 20-foot pole this year.
No,
You know, so and
not at
just
all.
the vibes around him have been bad
Negative.
forever. His
Yeah,
whole time in the league. You know what I mean?
it's true.
And
He's a great athlete, and he's just not what Philadelphia.
you know what he needs? He needs a new home.
He does. I
He
absolutely
needs a
do.
reset. Needs a
You
reset.
know where he would look really good? He would look good in Buffalo.
Oh yeah, that would
Yeah.
be a good
Next
trade.
up.
Yeah, I do. I
But
would like me some Miles Sanders in Buffalo.
the problem though is
I like anybody on Buffalo.
that's a good
And that's another running back quarterback, but like I just think that he'd be able to perform a little bit better.
well, I was gonna say it's a good segue because the thing that would stand in his way is that Buffalo has James Cook, who they drafted this year, I believe, out of Florida State, and he looks phenomenal in the passing game. Did you guys watch him at all in the preseason?
I ain't seen
So
it.
he catches the ball so fluidly out of the backfield. He's going to be in on third downs like early in the season, I think.
So that's probably Allen's answer for an RB2 because Cam Akers ain't it.
It's very possible that James Cook could become his running back too at some point in the season because you know the Bills. Devin Singletary has proven himself to them, but like the Bills don't believe in Devin Singletary.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they've shown that. That's why they drafted Zach Moss. You know, that's why they drafted James Cook. That's why they were trying to, you know, bring in who did they bring in? They had a what's his face, the old man from out in San Francisco.
Frank Gore.
No, not Frank Gore. Shoot, I can't remember his name right now, but he was the lead back out in San Francisco just a couple years ago with Raheem Mostert. But anyway, so I don't know, but they brought him in because they didn't believe, and he was getting carries over Devin Singletary. Zach Moss was getting carries over Devin Singletary. So it's a takeable job, is my point.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well, look at the rest of the squad. I mean,
yeah,
his number two receiver, Jerry Judy, hasn't shown it yet in the NFL.
yeah,
Hasn't had a quarterback,
yeah, and he gets
and
Russell Wilson
he's
now.
got one now. So,
Exactly.
uh, but that's one of those question marks, and a question mark at your starting lineup is tough.
Yeah, it's
He's
true.
got two different positions where he's got those question marks early, and I worry for Allen. I worry mightily for Allen.
I think Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to be good for him, though. I don't like him having two lines in the starting lineup, though. I can't
Yeah.
say that I like that, but Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think he's going to catch a lot of passes this year. I could see him catching 100 passes from Jared Goff this year easily. I think he's a
Yeah,
great route runner. Yeah, I think people are going to be surprised at how good he is this year as a second year wide receiver. But
maybe McCole Hardman all the way down at the bottom there is gonna like flash something. He's got that unreal speed now that Tyreek Hill's not there. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know what the Chiefs' offense is gonna look like.
MVS
Yeah.
has got to get hurt for him to have a shot, though.
You think
You know
so?
what I mean? That's
I don't.
MVS's role. MVS is in Mecole's role, the field stretcher. You know what I mean? The cross route guy. Like that's what MVS does, and I think he does it better than Mecole. And then also they brought in Sky Moore. You know what I mean? And he can do that too. So I just don't see it for Mecole, to be honest. But I
Well,
think if we
Allen's
are going to see, we already saw it, but I don't know.
what else do we like or dislike about Allen's team?
well,
Because
Allen's draft strategy seemed to be the inverse of Dave's in the sense of just depth. He's got running backs and wide receivers out the butt, which tells me one of two things. Either he is really just hopeful for a lot of people and he's hoping to play the depth game, or he's not confident in the starting lineup at all and he's hoping something pans out at a couple different spots.
well, I'm not confident in the starting lineup, so
He's got
I'm
some big
leaning.
time players, but after that, like yeah, I don't like a lot of what I see here. There's chances on a lot of these guys, like we were saying, but I don't
Well,
see any like guys that I'm super confident in outside of Swift, Adams, and Herbert.
yeah.
You
And
know,
one of the most confident things about his team, Devontae Adams, no longer there in Rodgers. Like, it's something to note. I think it's going to be
yeah.
successful because I don't think you can cover Devontae Adams. But like, it's something to think. It's one of those question mark things.
I think Dawson Knox is gonna have a good year too, but I don't think he's gonna have a Travis Kelsey year.
No,
So it's like, what is it?
he's not gonna carry this squad.
That's what I'm saying. So he's what is he gonna be? He's gonna be the sixth best tight end if he hits the
Mm,
ceiling. Like that's not gonna be
yeah,
enough to propel this team. You know what I mean?
no, nah.
So
He'll be good enough to
um
not have to worry about it all year, but you're right. It's nothing to really write home about.
it's gonna be a great touchdown catching tight end, is what Dawson Knox will be. Because Josh Allen loves him in the red zone. But Gabe Davis is there this year to be that big bodied Mike Evans type red zone wide receiver. Like that's what they're all saying. So is he going to take touchdowns away from Dawson Knox? If he does, then Dawson Knox is not going to be a great pick where he had to take him.
I
Yeah,
think it's
'cause
just a
he,
matchup kind of thing. If you got a better matchup with Dawson one week, he's going to look real good. Another week, he might not get any red zone looks, I think.
It's possible, yeah. He's not. He's
he
not.
doesn't soak up a lot of catches, and now we're doing the half PPR, and so it's something to consider.
It is, and he's also not like He's not like a as a freak. You know, Dallas Goddard is a much better athlete than him. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So like Dallas Goddard is a guy who catch a ball, catch a pass across the middle, turn to take it up the field, a la George Kittle, and take it to the house. I don't see Dawson Knox doing that, is what I'm saying. So if he
Yeah,
loses red zone targets, it's going to hurt him mightily.
got
But
it.
um, anyhow, you want to move to the next one?
Probably
Yeah,
time.
Right,
the next team is Mr. Todd, the
Todd.
last year's Sacco.
Mm.
That is correct. And let me just pull it up real quick.
Defending his last place position.
I
I
like his team.
Me too.
I definitely like his first two picks. I like them a whole lot. Jamar Chase and Aaron Jones coming back in the second.
I like his first four picks. I like his first four picks. I like those.
I'm on the fence with Travis Etienne, but the other three, yeah, I agree. I think they're fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I really like his starting lineup. Just going right down, Russell Wilson's great value pick at quarterback. You know what I mean? He's got good running backs. He's got a solid trio of wide receivers. He's got a big tight end there that maybe could be good. In Alberto. Um, you got Aaron Jones, who is going to do Aaron Jones things, but I think he's going to lose some carries this year. Travis Etienne, everybody's big on him. Nobody's seen him since college, so could be good, could be not. But he has that chemistry with Lawrence. There, a lot of people saying he's going to catch a lot of passes out of the backfield. I mean, if he does that, he's going to be great too. Love the combo of Jamar Chase and Michael Pittman together. You know what I'm saying? Like, the sky's the limit for that duo.
With Gabe Davis as his number 3 wide out too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For some huge weeks.
He's
Dallas Goedert too. Team. Like I think Todd's got a good team. Now I remember saying this about Todd's team last year.
Yeah, we did say that. You're right.
He did.
Todd had some bad luck last year.
Yes, he did.
I also like him taking Olave, Pickens, and Palmer. One of those guys is going to be good.
Rookie receivers are now a thing. Like it used to always be second year receivers. Like rookie receivers don't pan out, or not don't pan out, but like they just don't quite make it into the offense. But Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase have blown that way the fuck up.
Michael Pittman too. You know what I mean? Michael Pittman had a great rookie year too. So
and I think he upgraded quarterback too, just as far as not making mistakes, keeping the ball moving.
I think Olave might be that guy this year, to be honest with you. Yeah.
I was gonna make your Michael Thomas pick really shitty.
No, I think Olave is going to be good. I don't think it means that Michael Thomas is going to be bad. I just think that Olave is a great route runner.
And you heard it here first.
I think if Michael Thomas is going to be the number 1, because until teams, until Michael Thomas shows he doesn't have it, teams are going to treat Michael Thomas as the 1, right?
I think I showed that last year.
So anyway, let's blow past the shade here and just try to.
That's not shade. That's just what I think happened.
I mean, he was injured, for God's sakes. You know what I mean? Like, let the man get out there and be healthy.
Show some man the pace.
Does that count for nothing?
I mean,
he's not
injured. He's not injured now. Okay, we haven't seen him not injured since he literally set the record for receptions.
So we have not injured.
We have not seen him.
You're right. We haven't
uninjured.
Yep.
Since he set the record for receptions.
Accurate. Everything you're saying is true. That's what we're saying.
What I'm saying is, if that means that he was injured during that time, therefore, if he is now uninjured, he may be just as good as he was back then. It is possible. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And he might shoot rainbows from his butthole.
He might, because I've not. I haven't seen him not do it.
And I might take shits that taste like rainbow sherbet. Okay, it's possible.
I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
Wait, you eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
No.
All right. Anyway, off the rails. Cue train noise. Anyway, love the Dameon Pierce pick too.
I do too. I was so bummed because he was right after me, and I picked Rashad Penny, and I saw Dameon Pierce go off the board, and I just kicked myself for taking the wrong one.
Yeah.
Rashad Penny is going to be good until Ken Walker is healthy. And
that's on Todd's team too.
Yeah, exactly. So I do like Todd's team. He's got a lot of depth. We don't need to talk about defense. I think the Titans defense is trash. To be honest with you, they just lost their best pass rusher. Harold Landry is out for the year. So I think that puts a big hit on their pass rush, which is going to put a lot of pressure on their secondary. Which he's got
the Chargers defense.
I know. So he's going to drop the Titans. That's what I'm saying. I don't think the Titans are going to be good.
Got it. He drafted the Chargers.
Yeah.
He didn't draft 2. He didn't draft 2. He must have picked them up.
Oh, okay. All right. I haven't been keeping up with people's recent moves. So normally we're doing this podcast like right after it, and there's already been some moves made. So that makes it a little bit tougher. But,
got it.
Anyhow,
I like Todd's team. I think he's got a safe team. I think it's got depth. I think he didn't miss anywhere in the top 4 picks, which is key for surviving that like you don't want to fall through the fucking floor like right away.
Yeah, you're not going to win your league on draft day, but you can absolutely lose it. He did a good job of avoiding that. I think he's got a high floor with potential for some pretty good growth.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely. Should we move on to the next one?
Yeah. Good job, Todd.
Nice work, Tad. Um,
Mixing it
where are we
up.
going? Number 9.
Going
Mixing
to
up Trish. So I was saying this to you guys, I think the other day. Trish went the complete 180 of what she did last year, and she went heavy at the running backs this year instead of going all in on the wide receivers. Because if you remember last year, she had quite a wide receiver lineup,
She
but she
did.
didn't have a lot of running back depth, and that's what we said about it last year. And this year, she went heavy the other direction, and she has no wide receiver depth, but
Her
she
wide
has
receivers are
two.
in trouble.
She has two great wide receivers up top, but if any injury happens, she's screwed. Which is the same thing I said last year,
Mhm.
just about the running backs. So I thought that was funny, but um, her
Yeah,
running backs I think are solid. You know,
she's got depth coming out of her ears, and she's going to be, I think, the best trade candidate because her first 10 picks were all either running backs or wide receivers. First
yeah.
10.
You know what I did just miss here for a second though is that she does have Brandon Cooks, a wide receiver 3. And I
Mhm.
think
Mhm.
why I think Brandon Cooks is a great wide receiver 3. He's had 1,000 yards like every year in the last like 2-3 years. You know what I mean? So it's not like he's going
Was
to
he in
come in.
was he in Houston last year?
Yeah, he
Or was he in New
was.
Orleans?
He was in Houston last year.
Okay, so he did it again last year too.
He did do it last year. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He had like 70, 80 catches, 1,000 yards, handful of touchdowns. But as a
Okay.
wide receiver 3, those are good numbers. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Okay.
I don't hate that.
I think she's got potential to perform. She's going to have people that
Yeah.
produce at RB and wide receiver every week. I don't think that Matthew Stafford, given where he was drafted, is a bad pick either.
Mm-hmm.
But she better hope because she didn't have a backup quarterback. Her tight end is questionable, but I don't think it's a bad team.
That tight end could be just as good as Dawson Knox, is
Could
what
be.
I think. You know what I mean? Russ likes the tight end. He's a big guy. They call him Alberto or Big O or whatever for a reason. He's enormous. They did
No,
the
they call him
coaches.
Albert O because they can't pronounce his last name.
Yeah.
That's why. That's the whole thing.
Okwebanam. But I also like her snagging Antonio Gibson. The vibes were super bad on Antonio Gibson, but with Brian Robinson getting popped twice in the leg, Antonio Gibson's going to have that backfield mostly to himself. He's still not
Yep.
going to catch the ball because of McKissick, but
Well, and
he's going to get all the running work.
That
You
news
know,
broke right in the middle of the draft too, because after she
well,
took that pick,
right before it did.
that's
Yeah.
what happened during a. I mean, if you looked up in the middle of the draft after she selected it, the news article, the oldest one was 12 minutes old. Like it had
Oh,
happened
really?
just prior to her pick.
No, no. Brian Robinson getting shot happened right before our draft. It did because I saw it. I saw it coming into the draft on my sleeper app.
Oh, okay,
It
then I
popped
stand
up.
corrected.
Yeah, but I Todd told you guys that right before right before she picked him, and I was like, Todd, shut up,
Todd,
man.
shut the fuck up.
I was like, I wanted Gibson right there,
Yeah,
but obviously he wasn't gonna. I'm sure he told Trish that news and she acted accordingly. But which whatever.
Good
But
pick. And then she
yeah,
gets
good
Kareem
pick.
Hunt right after that. Another
Mhm.
good pick.
mhm.
Alexander Madison,
I mean,
who might
Kareem Hunt
might be trading for.
going right next to Miles Sanders in our draft. Like you got to feel so good about one of those and so bad about the other.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also possible still at some point this year that Kareem Hunt gets traded.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he wants out. He wants to be the number one somewhere. What if he ends up in Buffalo? I mean, that would be pretty
That'd
wild.
be that'd be great
You know
for
what I
him.
mean? So,
Mm-hmm.
or what if he ends up in Las Vegas? I don't know what they got for their cap
Ooh.
space. You know what I mean? But could see him in a Raider uniform as well. So, um, I don't know. I think Trish has a solid team. I honestly like her team probably better this year than I did last year. She doesn't have yeah. I mean, she has a lot of candidates for a running back too. She has a ton of depth. There's
But
questions about all of them though.
Yeah,
but out of
it's
her first 10 picks, 5 of them will be on the bench every week.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what you were saying. She's gonna have some decisions to make, and do you make the right call? So it's gonna be tough. She's gonna have to be reading the tea leaves, but if she does it right. She might have a good team on her hands.
By week 4, I think, trying to decide who to start and who not to.
I think Trish's
She's
team
got a lot
has
of
the.
hair.
I think Trish's team has the highest potential to go up or down. Like it's not steady where it's at because that RB2 situation is just you don't know who it is. Like you said, there's a ton of candidates, and if she hits it right, and if she can move some pieces to get some more receiver depth, then she's going to be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Trish, come see me for receiver depth.
Already pitching himself. Nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
like it.
Cody needs to make some moves, I guess.
Always moving, always grooving.
I mean, I got some wide receivers for it too, while we're at it. But anyway, so moving along here. Who do we have up next at
Bailey.
the number Bailey? Okay. Bailey
taking Deontay Johnson in the second round.
Getting the day off from work 3 hours before the draft. Good on her for that.
That was a fantastic little chat thread you guys had going there, just roasting Bailey over not knowing when the draft was. I mean, we'd only been talking about it for like what, a month and a half in the chat, like multiple times.
You can just
and the
scroll up.
Yeah. Well, Brent, there was a whole conversation the week before, not even it's like I can forgive you for not paying attention for 6 weeks before, but you're not paying attention 7 days out. Like, come on, man. You got to tune out at some point.
About getting time off from work.
Yeah, but also Bailey adds a lot of color to the league too. Adds a lot of flavor. You know what I mean? It's
like everybody. She's a Packers fan.
Well, it's part of it. It's part of it. We do like members of our own clan. But anyhow, first pick for Bailey was Najee. Am I correct?
Yep.
Yeah, solid pick.
Good pick.
Nothing wrong with Najee. Mm-hmm. The only problem is the offensive line stinks.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's not going to be efficient, but he's going to touch the ball 30 times a game. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's going to be just fine.
Yeah. He's going to get all the work. There is a rookie out there that they like, but he's not Najee Harris. So, I don't know. His name's Jalen Warren. He apparently was real good in the preseason and he made the roster. So I don't know. But
the thing that catches my attention most looking at Bailey's draft right now, she's got in her first 5 picks, two Steelers and 2 Cowboys. And I don't love that.
She did that last year too.
She did that Lamb Cooper thing that just wasn't a good recipe.
You can't do that.
Najee Harris is a great pick, but I think following up with Deontay Johnson is questionable as you wanted to.
Well, Deontay Johnson as a second round pick is just a bad move.
Yeah, exactly. With the quarterback questions they have there, I don't like that pick.
Yeah.
And there was also
she wasted her second round pick.
There's bad juju there, but then they did pay him, I believe. Did they not? I believe
I don't know about that.
I think they paid Deontay. But I don't remember exactly. But yeah, he's also taken a lot of damage in the last few years, just getting hospital balls from Big Ben. So there's questions about his durability as well.
Hospital balls. I like that. That's nice.
How else? What else would you call him? You know what I mean?
Nothing else. That's a perfect name.
Well, look how far down you have to go to get to. Okay, as Deontay Johnson being a wide receiver 1, by the way, look how far you have to go to get a wide receiver 2. Look who it is.
Yeah, I mean it's Rashad Bateman. And you know what though? I don't hate Amari Cooper because there is in there as your wide receiver 3 or potentially wide receiver 2 because they paid him a lot of money to come there. Okay, yeah, he's the 2 over Bateman.
He's the 2.
But the thing is, they paid him a lot of money to come there. Okay, their offense isn't going to be great until Deshaun Watson comes back. But if Bailey's making a run, and then you get Deshaun Watson back, and then you know what I mean? Like if Amari catches enough passes early in the season, on a shitty offense, who they're going to throw him the ball. They have to. Who else are they going to throw the ball to? Donovan Peoples-Jones?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Throw the ball down the field. Yeah, so it's like,
I think Bailey's going to struggle to get in those playoffs though with this roster.
It's possible. It depends on what Zeke does. I'm not big on Zeke, but it depends a lot on what Zeke does, and if Mr. Hertz can put up numbers like he did last year, which I think he can, to be honest, but
Yeah, if they let him
just-
run the ball, then he can. But if they try to make that man into a franchise quarterback, which he is not, then his numbers are going to go way down from what they were last year, fantasy wise.
yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. I just think that he has just more weapons around him. You know what I mean? But the other thing is if their defense is good, here's the other narrative against Jalen Hurts. If the defense is better this year, which they drafted a lot of young talent in the draft from Georgia specifically onto that defense. And they got a few playmakers in the secondary. So if the defense is better and they can keep games close, or the Eagles can actually be ahead in more games, then you're not going to have all this garbage ball, which is going to take the upside out of Jalen Hurts. And, maybe they're going to run the ball more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's possible. It's possible that they get better, and the Jalen Hurts of fantasy lore last year that we saw is not the one that we're all, he's just not what we're expecting this year. It's very possible. So
it's true. And I really don't believe in having a running back and a tight end on the same squad. I think you're asking to get balls taken away from you. Just low ceiling.
And part of the field.
Yep.
They steal targets from each other. Yeah. The ball that gets thrown to the running back could have easily been thrown to the tight end.
Yep.
So
and if you have to start both of them, Bailey has to start both of them. It's not picking one or the other there. It's creating a lower ceiling for her overall score.
Yep. I mean, there's a Melvin Gordon as your running back 3 isn't the worst thing in the world. He's going to get the ball. It's just a question of how much does his share go down? Because it's going down. It's just how much does he lose?
Both Melvin Gordon and Ezekiel Elliott, like, they're going to get their touches, but they're going down. They're not. Their careers aren't trending upwards. No. She's getting the last of those points.
Yeah, it's not what you want. You don't want the last dregs of a once great running back.
No, you don't.
It's not a recipe for success.
I think her team's gonna come. The success of her team's gonna come directly down to Jalen Hurts. If he does what a lot of people are hyping him up to do, she's gonna be all right. She'll be middle of the pack with some upside. If not, she's gonna be in trouble.
I think she's gonna be on the playoff bubble. That's what I think. I think she's gonna be right there in that, like, somewhere 7 through 9 range is about, which ESPN, ESPN pegged her pretty good to call back.
ESPN out there pegging again.
Just pegging them. Anyhow, should we go to the next one? You got anything more to say on Bailey's team?
No.
We got 3 more to do. We could power through this.
2 more.
2 more?
No, Bailey was what was Bailey?
Bailey was 10.
Oh, so we got 2 more. Okay, cool. So
we're doing it. We're doing
11
it.
Is last year's runner-up, Mr.
Strozzi. ESPN does not like this man's team.
They don't like you losing the championship, Mr. Strozzi.
Well, it's a fitting because in the NFL that's something that happens quite often as well. Losing the Super Bowl, you suck next year. Although I don't think that's going to happen to the Bengals.
I don't think it's going to happen to the Bengals either. They did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, I think they're going to be good.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's dig into this team. He takes Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb up top. Am I correct?
I like those
first 2. Yeah.
Yep.
I like those.
But here's the problem. Yeah, great. I mean, Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, right? Okay, but Derrick Henry's offensive line did get worse.
Yep.
And Nick Chubb doesn't have a quarterback.
Yep.
So we could say that they're not going to be as good as they were. And maybe some of the other players around them that he could have taken rise and they fall a little bit. You know what I mean?
I think that's accurate.
I'm not saying that I'm hating on Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb. I mean, they're great. They're fun to watch. They run over guys. They make big, long runs. They score touchdowns. But also, we're playing half PPR this year. Neither one of those guys catch the ball.
Nope.
Yeah, it's true. But like before Derrick Henry went down, though, he was so far ahead, the best running back.
Oh, phenomenal.
In the league.
It's true. Thank you, Derrick Henry.
To the point that he finished top 20 still.
Yeah.
And he only played 9 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's pretty
That's
wild.
That's
absurd.
insane.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. So yeah, I mean, he is a difference maker at the position. He could
I
easily be
think
the running back one.
I think 4
You know,
weeks after his injury, I was looking over like the roster spots because Cup was number 1 receiver. I think 4 weeks after, it still had Derrick Henry at number 1. And so
oh,
like
he
my
crushed
roster
so
last
hard.
year was just the 1 running back, 1 receiver. And I'm like, God, he hasn't played in a month.
He was putting up obscene numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Is like he was putting up like 180, catching a couple passes and running a couple touchdowns, and he's putting up like 30 points a week.
It's true.
It was
He's
wild.
a monster.
Yeah, he's a large man.
I think he overpaid for George Kittle.
I think so too.
When did he took him in the third round?
Yep. He's the second
Yeah,
tight end taken.
yeah, I should not have done that.
No.
George Kittle's a fourth round guy. You
Yep.
can wait around on him there. And
But
also he's playing with Trey Lance.
5. Maybe 5.
Yeah, maybe 5 if he falls there. But if you
Uh-huh.
believe in him, you got to take him in the fourth, I think. But in our
Yeah.
draft, you wouldn't have got him. You can Struzzy take him in the third. So the thing is about George Kittle this year. I mean, it's George fucking Kittle. It's fun to watch George Kittle play.
He's my
But-
favorite tight end to watch.
Oh, it's fantastic. You
Same.
know what I mean? But
Mhm.
it's Trey Lance. Is Trey Lance gonna be as accurate as Jimmy G was? Is Trey Lance gonna want to throw the ball to George Kittle as much as Jimmy G does, or does he fall in love with Brandon Ayuk? Or,
Well,
you know what I mean?
Kittle's not known for his red zone targets, and with him getting a little bit older and a little bit less explosive, he's going to lose out on a lot of his touchdowns. I think he's definitely on the way down, even though he's still towards the top of the position, just because he's a freak athlete and there's a lot of room to come down from there. But I definitely
Still one of those conversations on the way down. You'll notice, like, as we've gotten later into our draft analysis, thanks to the ESPN projections, we're talking a lot more about players on the way down.
It's true.
Interesting
But,
pattern.
a player that I don't think is on the way down this year, Lamar Jackson. I think
No,
Lamar
contract
Jackson,
season.
I think he has a point to prove.
Yep.
And I think he's going to play hard, and I think he's going to be great. And I think
he's gonna be nasty. I think Lamar Jackson will be the reason Struzzy's team is good.
The floor on Lamar Jackson is crazy high, especially like in fantasy value.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have to run the ball too.
Yeah.
He's not like Mark Andrews ain't gonna be open every play. You know what I mean? So like
most of them,
we're gonna see. Yeah, he gets open a lot, but he ain't gonna be open every play. He'll be open like 20, 30 targets a game.
Yeah.
But those other 5 times, Lamar's welcome to run. You know what I mean?
And he's going to, and Strozzi's gonna love that. And Strozzi's gonna need a lot of that because we get all the way down to the 5th round before he takes his first receiver.
I'm not that mad at what he did at wide receiver if it pays off for him. Huge risk, right?
Huge.
But it is
Huge.
DK Metcalf. It is DK Metcalf.
Mm-hmm.
He has, and I know who he's playing with at quarterback. I know he's playing on a terrible team, but they are always going to be down.
They are going to be down.
Always going to have to throw the ball.
Yep.
And it's DK fucking Metcalf, man. And Geno, people forget, he was not that bad with Geno. He had some games in there with Geno where he caught, there's at least one game that comes to mind where he caught multiple touchdowns. And I know there was another game where he had a solid stat line as well. So it's like,
my brain keeps telling me it's going to be Drew Lock, and so like I want to like knock it harder. But you're right, it's Geno, which
Drew Lock. Drew Lock
you're right, it's
lost
not
the job to Geno
You're right.
Smith.
And he should have, and he should have.
He
did.
Should be out of the league.
Yeah. But also, I don't mind. I don't mind that Juju Smith-Schuster pick. The greatest upgrade of all the receivers that we've talked about, like quarterback upgrades. He's got the best scenario. If he's gonna have a career resurrection, here we are.
He's got if not Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
Oh, Juju. You're talking Juju. My bad.
Yeah.
Yes. Space out a little bit.
That's all right. I think high risk at receiver, but like what you said, DK Metcalf might be just fine. And where he was taken as far as ADP is concerned, pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
If he hits on 2 receivers, if he hits on Metcalf and Juju and Godwin to,
if Godwin comes back and he's himself again, he's got a solid team.
Yeah,
I
Cordell
think
Patterson might get some touches.
I think his team is much better than the 11th spot that he's slated in right now.
Yeah, I don't think he deserves
I
the
think
11th
it's
spot.
super. I think his team's super risky.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what
Look
I
at
But
think.
I think you
Raheem
got to
Mostert in the
take
11th
risks to
round.
win the league, though. You
You're
know what I
absolutely
mean?
right. Yeah, like
So
second place is bullshit.
yeah, who cares? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Well, you made
No,
$100, great,
no
but like
biscuit for silver.
I mean, technically, he paid for his league dues this year with his last year's effort. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's fine, but you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's
Like,
fine.
nice to
Let's see.
get
Listen,
nice.
listen to you. That's fine.
That's
You know.
fine, but it's a
Yeah,
lot better to take
it's
home
no
that
biscuit.
yeah, exactly. It's no biscuit.
Question for you guys: how do you feel about Justin Tucker in the 10th round?
Too
A
early.
That's a
kicker in the
bad. That's a
10th
bad
round.
move. That's a
12th
bad
round.
move.
12th round if you want the best kicker. 13th.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Michael Gallup and Valdez Scantlin are the two picks on either side of a kicker.
I was very happy that
Mm-hmm.
he let the because I believe I got Marquez dropped to me, correct?
Julio Jones went later.
Yeah. Yeah, come
Uh,
on, man. You could have Julio Jones, could have Marquez, could have a lot of other guys, but he already had Juju, so you could argue that
yeah,
he can't take MVS, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
or you
He's
take
got
them both.
Godwin, so
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I think. You take them both, see who pans out, because one of them's
yeah.
going to be the guy, right?
Here's the sleeper pick on his team, Drake London. Okay.
Marcus Mariota.
Yes. However, Drake London is, and Kyle Pitts is in the way too, right? Kyle Pitts is gonna be the one, clearly.
Yep.
But
Yep.
like the thing is that Drake London is gonna be needed. You got to have a wide receiver one. Who's the wide receiver one on that team if it ain't him? You know what I mean?
I
It's
hear you.
it's it's Kyle Pitts, but Kyle Pitts is technically tight end. You know what I mean? We all
Yeah.
know he's a wide receiver, but if we're talking like true wide receiver, it's Drake
Mhm.
London. So I just think that how does he not get 90 targets this year or more? How does he not get 90 or more? I don't
Yeah.
see how it's possible. If he gets that
The,
many, maybe catches 60 passes. But the
well, with
problem is
this,
those are Marcus Mariota balls,
they are Mariota balls. They will be down a lot.
That's
You got to
true.
consider that. So, I mean, Drake London might have a good season now that rookie receivers are a thing. That might be a good pick.
And maybe Ritter comes in. Ritter did look exciting in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
His mobility allowed him to make some plays. They're both rookies. Maybe they formed a bond. You never know. Maybe it
Yeah,
can pan
maybe.
out.
If Atlanta's trying to like actually build a team, they better not. But
Yeah, I don't think Drake
Yeah.
London's going to be anything more than a mid-range flex all season.
But if he provides some depth at wide receiver, I'm saying that could really shore up an area of his team where he could use
Mhm.
it. But where he's really lacking in depth is at running back. But he's got two, behemoths.
he does. He's got two behemoths.
So
As long as they stay healthy, he's gonna be fine.
yeah, I think he liked that last year with the Najee and who else did he have? He had two solid running backs there. I think he had Najee and Gibson when Gibson was actually like doing something for a little
Mm-hmm.
while.
Yeah.
Anything else to say about Jake's team?
Nah, we're good here.
Nope.
All right. So who it's Brant, right? Brant's the last one.
Ooh, Brant,
Mr. Bransky.
the former champion in the
The
last
only other one.
place
The only
projection.
other one on the trophy.
The
Mr.
only other
Brant.
one I respect in this league. Here's to you, Brant.
Oh man. So now we see what you have to do to earn Cody's respect, folks.
Yeah,
High bar.
your name has to be on a trophy.
High bar. What do we have
I
to
don't
say about
think
Brent's team?
I don't think ESPN liked the Saquon Barkley pick in the second round, and I think
I
agree.
don't think anyone should like that pick.
I do.
I mean, he was going to go there to somebody somewhere in that range. It wasn't going to be me.
I think
Or
Saquon.
me.
I think Saquon's going to be good this year.
I don't.
Their offensive line is better. Okay, they already showed in the preseason that they're going to throw him. They will throw him the ball more. They brought in Buffalo's coach. Okay, Buffalo's coach is coming into New York. Am I wrong? I'm pretty sure.
And he's well known for getting running backs involved.
No, what I'm saying is he's not an idiot. The only player that he has on his offense is Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, okay, that's okay.
That's the argument.
Yeah,
I'm not
okay.
saying that
Got
like,
it.
of course, the
If
running
there's a
backs aren't
guy.
getting the ball in Buffalo because it's Devin fucking Singletary and Zach Moss. And then you have Stephon Diggs, Emmanuel Sanders, Isaiah McKenzie, and Gabe Davis and
Mhm.
Dawson Knox, all of whom are better options in the passing game than Devin Singletary. There's nobody on the Giants short of there's nobody on the Giants that is a better option in the passing game than Saquon Barkley. That's more electric to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
So
I do want to stop myself from like immediately shitting on Brandt's team because of that Saquon Barkley pick, which again I do not like. He did take my absolute favorite receiver this year. Uh and I know it's his, and I know it's a homer pick too. And so if you got a chance, you do it. I think Justin Jefferson is going to fucking kill.
he's
I think
gonna
so
light it
too.
up. Gonna light it up.
Yeah,
Wide receiver one this year, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And he went accordingly.
Yeah, as he should. And then you know what? I'm not mad at DJ Moore. He's getting an upgrade.
Yeah, I
Baker
absolutely agree.
Mayfield, people forget Baker Mayfield when he doesn't have, a torn knee, a ripped up shoulder, and like is getting just completely butchered in media. Took
Mhm.
the fucking Browns to the playoffs and
He
looked
did, and that's
pretty
the
decent.
Browns.
Pretty decent that year
Yeah,
too, throwing the ball.
agreed. I think
So
DJ Moore is going to have a good year.
So I like the first 7, maybe even 8 picks, maybe even 9 picks.
I don't like Joe
Of
Burrow. I think it's too high.
I don't mind it. I don't
where
love
did
it,
he
but I
take
don't
Joe
mind it.
Burrow? What round
Fifth
was Joe
round.
Burrow?
Fifth.
That's too high for me.
It's too high.
Yeah.
It's too high. He's a middle of the road quarterback
I
for
think
fantasy purposes.
he's a seventh rounder.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what were you gonna say? Somebody you had another point you're gonna say, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, out of those picks, he's probably the one I like the least amount. But it's the back half of the draft that I think loses me. Like Jacoby Myers, Devontae Parker, hoping one of those two pans out on that offense, I think is tough. And a backup quarterback in there. I don't know. I'm looking at the roster trying to figure out why ESPN has him ranked so low too. You know what I mean?
I
I think
think
they don't
Kirk
believe.
Cousins might have a really good year.
Yeah, me too. One of those two is going to be great. I mean, Joe Burrow is going to be the starter most weeks, but Kirk
Mhm.
Cousins could easily like be a solid top 10 quarterback most weeks.
Well,
You know what I mean?
think of the double up he might get if he throws him in there with that Justin Jefferson.
Yep, absolutely. That's
Like
100% why he did it.
yeah, you might see some Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill type of shit.
Oh,
You might.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine him throwing Kirk Cousins in the starting lineup when they're playing the Jets.
When they're playing the
Imagine
Bears twice.
Or the
imagine the
Lions.
damage. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Imagine the damage they're going to do. Notice we left out the Packers. That's right, boys. Remember who's the best. Exactly. All right. Anyway, I mean, he's gonna have to face Jair, man. He's not gonna crush Jair. He's gonna beat Jair, but he's not gonna
We're gonna
crush
find
Jair.
out week 1.
Yeah, we will find out week one. That's right. We're gonna find out that the Packers are gonna be 1-0. So we're gonna find out. That's right, Brent. Anyway, so the I'm not mad at the Patriots wide receivers thing. I don't think there's a lot of upside there, but I think it's possible that Devontae Parker could be a touchdown scorer out there. He's good in the red zone. He's very athletic. He's
You think so?
inconsistent. Devontae Parker is extremely athletic.
He's
Absolutely.
also 29.
Injury prone, also. Can't
There's
stand the
nothing
field
about
lately.
Devontae Parker that excites me, especially considering where he's at.
What excites me potentially about it is that I think he's the most explosive pass catcher they have.
That doesn't tell me much. Like the sharpest tool in the shed, you know?
But what I'm
Yeah,
saying is,
it's a spoon.
there could be some there could be some usable weeks there for Devontae. You know what I
The
mean? If
spoon
he
in your shed.
the problem is with
It's not a
somebody
good
like
shed. It's not a good shed. That's what I'm saying. It's poor shed.
not a great shed, not a great tool drawer or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
Feeling a little
But how do
non-plus.
feeling a little flabbergasted. It's a great word. How do you guys feel about Elijah Mitchell?
I like it.
I like where he's taken.
I mean, it makes me nervous because of the San Francisco offense. And like we talked about, the running back by committee, the second he shows that there's somebody else with a hot hand, he'll just lose his job. If it happens like 2 weeks in a row, it's almost guaranteed. You see it almost every other year with that team.
The other thing is about Elijah Mitchell. People got really hot on him because he had a good streak going. If you look at his overall numbers last year, they were not that good. He had like 900 yards on the ground, like 5 touchdowns. You know what I mean? And he's being drafted, as I mean, and granted, he got banged up a little bit, and it wasn't his. I don't
Well,
think it was fully
most are
his
left
job.
too, so that's what.
Yeah,
I don't know,
That's
man.
why.
I'm
That's
look,
what.
I'm
That's why he
I'm
cramped
looking
up.
at his numbers last year, and besides, obviously, he missed some weeks from injury, but the weeks he showed up were great. Like I'm looking at 20 points, 16, 25, 11, 20, 17. Like he's putting up good numbers.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
But
I'm
but
looking
he
at the
missed
scores
one, two,
too, but
3, 4, 5. He missed 6 games out of 17 though, so that's a concern.
that's what I'm saying. I just think that the way that they use the running backs out there and the way that they just hammer them into the dust, I just don't see yeah, like you said, the weeks he showed up, he's great, but like, is he gonna? I just don't see that offense sustaining a guy the whole year because they just beat the shit out of him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like and Shanahan loves guys that run that way, but then they all get banged up. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know. I mean, I'm
And
sure he's going to be fine when he's healthy. I just
one,
don't think he's going to stay healthy.
if he doesn't pan out, his next in line is either Jeff Wilson, like for the team itself, but for Brandt's team, it's James Robinson, the running back coming back from an Achilles injury. So you want to put money on that?
He 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 went real heavy on San Francisco too, with like some of the pieces that up like he took Brandon Ayuk,
Oh,
which could
yeah.
be like I did make an argument just now, like what if Trey Lance loves Brandon Ayuk? It's
Yeah.
possible.
What ifs are tough, man.
Yeah,
You don't want to. You don't want to leave draft day with a bunch of what ifs.
yeah, exactly. But you can cut some of these guys, and pick up somebody else. Like if they don't pan out, he's got a lot of cut bait. You know what I mean? He's got a lot of guys he's going to see week one, and if they're terrible, he can cut them and not feel bad about it.
It's true. Which
So
I don't love that for draft day, but here we are.
yeah. So I mean that covers most of it. I mean one sleeper thing for him is if James Robinson actually is just like starting running back still. That would be wild, but it's possible. You know what I mean?
It is.
Darnell Mooney is going to be great this year too. I think. I don't think he's going to catch a lot of touchdowns because their offense sucks. But
But he's the guy.
He's the guy, and he has great hands.
Yeah,
he can catch anything. So,
I think we got to wrap this thing up.
I think we got to wrap it up. How long we been gone?
About
Quite a
2.5
while.
hours.
Oh, that's not too bad. That's not terrible. But that's
1.5. We were shooting for 40.
Hey man, like Cody said, we all knew there wasn't a chance in hell.
I'm looking at a text from Erica that happened an hour and a half ago that says, "I think we should do 6 teams this podcast."
There was not a chance in hell that this was going to last 40 minutes.
I got chicken pot pie filling my nose. I gotta go.
That a guy. Who do you guys think is going to win the league? And then we're going to sign off.
Me.
Okay, not you. What team?
Can you give like an honest answer?
Yeah, like
me.
All right, so Cody's out. Jake, who do you think is going to win the league other than your team?
If I'm looking at rosters of people that I think have the current best chances, I like Todd's team a whole lot. I like God, I do like Cody's team as much as I don't want to admit it right now. I do like Cody's team.
But so your first pick is Todd though. That's what you think.
I think my second pick is Jake. I think Mr. Wilson's
I'm my own first pick too, but since you said besides me.
But like with good reason though. With good reason your pick is you know what I'm saying? Like homers all day, but like you should stand by your team real strong.
I'm going with Jake too, dark horse Erica though.
Ooh.
That's what I'm saying.
I can see it. There's a lot of people I could see there. It's not like I think there's like 2 or 3 at the top. I think there's probably 6 people that have like a legitimate chance depending on what unfolds.
I think Trey Lance. Say what?
I'm thinking. I'm trying to like Wilson.
I'd put you in that.
Yeah.
Maybe Todd, Austin. Todd.
Todd up there.
I'd have to look at Erica's team again. I'm a little surprised by that pick. I remember not feeling too
You
hot
guys
about
are
that.
you guys are putting Austin up in the top 5.
I'm not saying that.
With an outside chance, yeah.
Oh man, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I think Austin's team's all right.
I don't think so, to be honest with you. That's just my opinion. I don't like his team that much. To me, if I'm ranking them, I'm going Jake, some combination of you and Todd for 2 3. And then if I'm trying to make some money on these predictions, I would go Jake and then Cody or Todd and then Erica after that. That's kind of where my head's at, to be honest with you. Erica's got a lot of big time players on our team. If Trey Lance pans out, you know what I'm saying? Like she's gonna put up a lot of points for that team. So
yeah, she's got Jonathan Taylor and Travis Kelce, which are gonna win her a couple games by themselves.
exactly.
Accurate.
That's my point. But anyway,
so who's your front runner for Sacco?
For Sacco? Oh, I mean Dave. I mean, let's
Hi,
go.
Dave.
Come on,
Really?
man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude, you can't
I'll
take 2
give him
tight
a
ends in the
breather.
first 7 rounds. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. God, it's tough not to though. It's just the easy target.
2 tight ends, 2 quarterbacks, 2
Who else
defenses.
could it be? That I mean, honestly, after that, Allen or Bailey probably.
Allen.
I don't like Allen's team.
Allen's got a bad team.
either.
Allen's got a
I
bad
don't like
team.
his team either. But you know, we've said this in the past, and then he's scored more points than
I don't
anybody.
remember ever saying this about Allen's team.
I don't think we said it last year. I think we actually did like his team last year. So
And,
I don't know. I might
for what it's worth,
up.
I think out of all the people in our league, besides the 4 of us, Allen's the most likely to still be listening to this podcast. So
nice.
sorry, Allen.
Sorry, man. We love you, Allen, but you know what?
Year, bud.
Get a better
I'll
team.
let you help me pick out what jersey I get.
I'll let you all
nice
help me decide what jersey to finally buy myself as my first jersey because
Patrick, it ain't gonna be you.
Oh,
Patrick, it ain't gonna be
That's
you.
ain't gonna be you.
Hey, we took a lot of home run hitters. All right, and if they
hit
hit
a lot
them
of chances,
home runs,
you took a lot of chances.
If we hit them home runs. Then,
3 true outcomes: home runs.
We will
Are you
be
calling AJ
strikeouts,
Dillon a home run?
Hey, listen, this is going to be the year we hit 70. All right, we're going for Barry Bonds. You know what I mean? We hit a lot of home runs in fantasy football.
Oh, good luck.
Which makes a lot of sense. All right.
Yeah.
Now with that,
go.
Yeah, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah, that's on brand. All right, guys. Should we sign it off? We'll figure out how to edit some cool soundboard action and we'll spruce this baby up. But this was our first video pod for the Dundee League draft recap and year predictions. Signing off. Hakuna Matata.